You were given false information about when your life will begin. They told you that you could finally find peace if you worked harder, pushed yourself faster, and hurried to the next thing. But if that were true, then why do so many busy people still feel lost? Why do you still feel worried, antsy, and like you're running but never getting there? Life isn't a race to be won, that's the truth. You can trust this road. The Buddhist way of knowing has the map. The best teachers like Buddha, Nagarjuna, and Dogen spent hundreds of years finding the real key to peace, patience, and timing that works every time, not through force or power, but by giving up, with hope in what can't be seen and trust in how things will turn out. Tonight, as you listen to these lessons, something inside you will change. Soon, the worry about being behind will go away. When you rush, the weight of it will fall off. It will slow your breathing, make you feel calmer, and bring back a trust you forgot you had. The world will feel better when you wake up tomorrow. You'll walk more slowly, better to see, feel more free. It's not just another sound to fall asleep to. This is a way in, a new way to live, a chance to finally accept that your life is going to happen at the right time, without doubt, fear, or pressure. Are you all set? Let's start. Now that your heart and breath are getting softer, it's time to go deeper. Buddhist wisdom has been hiding one of the most important but little-known facts for hundreds of years. There is a truth that can break through the secret hopelessness, anxiety, and weight you've been carrying inside for too long. The process starts with a fresh approach to waiting, a kind of patience that most people never get to try. You will tonight. There is a fear that many people feel that no one else sees. The worry that time is moving too fast or too slowly, that things should have happened by now, or that important things are being missed. This fear shows up in many ways. At times, it feels like anger, at times like sadness, and at times like an unpleasant feeling that I can't even describe. But at its core, it's always the same, a secret sadness that comes from battling time. Buddhist lessons show that this kind of desperation isn't normal. It's been learned. It comes from having a mind that is trained to grab, hold on, and rush. People are taught from a young age that faster is better, that sooner is better, and that right away is better. But Buddhism whispers something very important, and it's very clear. Real life works best when it's not forced. To find peace in the heart, one must not hurry things along, but rather believe deeply, wait wisely, and flow gently with what is. Not being active or lazy is not what Buddhism means by patience. You have to believe in the deeper rhythms of life with all your heart. You have to be ready to stand in the space between what you want and when it comes true without letting that space break you. It means understanding that you have power in that place. You are getting ready. You are changing. At first, the mind will fight this. Story alerts will be yelled out. It will tell you that you'll be late, miss your chance, or waste your life if you don't move quickly. But Buddhist patience can see through these lies. It knows that being desperate is a trick and not something that you have to do. When you feel that tightness in your chest that tells you you should be somewhere else by now, Buddhist knowledge tells you to see it not as proof that you're late, but as proof that you're learning. Many years ago, someone taught that running is like hitting yourself hard. You hurt the parts of yourself that need time and care every time you try to hurry your healing, growth, or fate. So, being patient becomes a very kind thing to do for yourself. In this way, you are telling your heart, I believe in you. I believe in your method. I'm not going to leave you just because things are taking longer than I thought. It's not empty to wait. It's full to wait. There are many quiet changes going on that we can't see yet. It's not true that nothing is happening just because the seed hasn't broken the surface. Life is getting ready under the ground, in the dark, where no one can see it. Roots are getting bigger. The base is being built. It's getting stronger. In the same way, life is not punishing you when it tells you to wait. It's getting you ready. It's making you stronger. It's not easy, though. Most of the time, people who wait well are not praised. For the fastest, biggest, and most aggressive party, this is the one. It teaches that being patient is a sign of weakness, and moving slowly means you'll fail. The Dhammapada, on the other hand, one of the oldest Buddhist books, says the opposite. It says that the patient one is the strongest because they have won the hardest fight, which is the one inside them. Being wise while you wait doesn't mean you're doing nothing. You are getting stronger. You are learning how to trust. You are learning to be happy in itself, not just when you get there. Buddhist patience is more than just waiting for better times to come along. Find out that this very moment, even if it feels like it's missing something, is not a mistake. It is the right place for your soul. Giving up control over time can give you soft power. You can see that desperation isn't normal. It's made by what people expect of you. The mind says, by now, things should be different. The heart, on the other hand, says, everything is going exactly as it should. Each slow breath you take strengthens this knowledge. When you fully present yourself in every moment, even when things don't go as planned, a peace that can't be shaken grows. A lot of people suffer because they hold on to things. A lot of people don't know this, but holding on to time is one of the strongest forms of attachment. Holding on to the idea that your job should be further along, your relationship should have shown up by now, and your healing should be done by now is the invisible trap that keeps you from being happy. With Buddhist patience, you can get out of that trap. Instead of always chasing a different life, it frees you to live the one that's right in front of you. Think of a river that doesn't rush to get to the sea, but runs slowly, cutting through mountains and filling in valleys as it goes. It never doubts how fast it is going. It believes in its way. Buddhist patience tells you to be like a river. It flows, but it's never crazy. Trusting the path, even though you can't see the end goal yet. One of the most interesting paradoxes that Buddhism shows is that life moves faster in the ways that count when you stop rushing. You are no longer spending your time fighting what is. No longer do you wear yourself out in made-up races against time. You are here, open and awake. And when you're awake, you see chances, insights and gifts that a mind that is desperate would miss completely. When you wait with understanding, you learn to love the different stages of life. Everything grows and blooms in the spring. Everything rests and gets stronger in the winter. When its leaves fall off, the tree doesn't get scared. It doesn't believe it has failed. It knows that the dead branches don't mean it's dying, but that they are getting ready for a fuller growing season. The way a Buddhist sees your life is the same. It knows that times of waiting are not the end, but rather a part of becoming. At times, the need to rush will be too strong to resist. When you need to know something right away, but can't. These times are the best teachers. They show you where your trust is still weak. They keep telling you to pick faith over fear, to pick being present over being scared, to pick the smart move of waiting over the desperate move of hurrying. You change the story your mind is trying to tell with each slow breath. You are no longer tied down by time. You are its pupil. You are no longer stuck in a hurry. You are free when you accept. You change into a different person slowly, and at first you don't even notice it. Someone more stable, someone nicer, someone who is stronger than life's storms. Buddhist patience gets rid of hidden desperations, not by telling you not to want something, but by holding it gently. You can accept that the things you want are real, but you can't always control when they'll happen. This is not a flaw, it's a blessing, because you don't have to try to make everything happen at once, which is impossible. You can rest, you can breathe, you can depend on. There is a Zen saying that goes, chop wood, carry water. It means that every day you don't have to do amazing things. It's about being there, getting the job done, trusting that something holy is growing inside you even when nothing exciting seems to be happening. Every time you choose to be patient instead of panicking, you plant the seeds of peace for the future. When you have real patience, the secret needs that steal your joy lose their power. Because despair says, I need it now or I'll break. And patience says, I am whole even without it. Despair says, time is running out. And patience says, time is taking me right where I need to be. Let these words sink into your mind and heart tonight. Feel the weight of time start to lift. Feel the stress hands start to loosen up. Feel yourself being held by something older and smarter than your mind's crazy plans. Life's deep, slow, unchanging beat. Tomorrow will come when it's supposed to. Things will get better on their own time. There are already seeds of love, happiness and peace in the world. It's not your job to pull them out of the ground to stop their growth. Trust the rain. That's your job. Believe in the seasons. Have faith in the wait. Let this truth settle quietly into your being as you drift off to sleep tonight. You're not behind schedule. You're not lost. We haven't forgotten about you. You're on time. As the truth of waiting calms the restless parts of your heart, something deeper starts to wake up. You know that life is never still, but it's quiet and almost unseen. It's always moving below the surface, even when it doesn't seem like anything is going on. There is an old rhythm that moves you forward without you having to keep moving. You will get even more in sync with that beat tonight. The world is always working in the background to help you. You will remember that. Part of you wants proof. Show that your work is important. Proof that being kind didn't go to waste. There's proof that all your hard work paid off. It makes sense to want to see the results of your hard work as soon as possible. Buddhism, on the other hand, encourages a different way of seeing that isn't limited to what the eyes can see. It teaches that karma, which is the rule of cause and effect, works like a clock that stays on its own, always turning and ticking, even when the surface looks the same. The heart gets angry when it forgets this truth, when the seeds you planted don't seem to be doing anything, if the prayers you whispered into the dark haven't come back to you yet. There are times when you wonder if you're wasting your time, love, and hope. Karma, on the other hand, whispers back with infinite patience, nothing is lost. Every kind deed, every minute of work, and every choice made with good intentions moves wheels that we can't see. Things are changing in the universe because of the energy you sent out, even if you can't see it yet. A lot of people are wrong when they think justice happens right away. That if you do good, it will come back to you right away, in a way you can recognize. Now, real fate is more subtle, slower, and smarter. It doesn't always give back what the mind wants. It gives back what the soul wants. It's not always about getting what you want. Sometimes the prize is becoming stronger, more free, and smarter by giving, trying, and hoping. Master Buddhists say that real faith means acting out of love and truth, even when you can't see any effects yet. Trust that the clock is running even if you can't hear it. When you stop expecting results right away, you feel a deep sense of satisfaction. When you stop basing your worth on how quickly you get awards, you break out of the tiring loop of expecting too much and not getting it. The trip you're on starts to look like something bigger to life than you think. What seems like a wait or silence is often just a way to protect, prepare, or even shift in a sacred way. The work you've done and the energy you've given the world will never go to waste. You are just being woven into a future you haven't reached yet. The clock of karma keeps track of both what you do and how you do it. Many times, a small action done with seriousness goes further than a big action done just for show. What you mean counts. Energy is important, and the gifts that come back aren't always clear. They can show up as a sudden sense of inner peace that you didn't know you needed. Sometimes they come in the form of challenges that push you to become a better person who can carry the goals you thought were out of reach. It's easy to think of life in terms of transactions. I gave this, so I should get that. However, Buddhist knowledge breaks down this way of thinking. If you believe it, you can have a relationship with the universe instead of negotiating. You act in a good way because that's how you are becoming, not because you want to change what will happen. Something beautiful happens when you give up. From lack to plenty, you start to move, moving from impatience to kindness, from being scared to having quiet power. An old Zen proverb says, "No snowflake falls in the wrong place." Work done from the heart also never ends up in the wrong place. It might look like it drifts away in the waves of life, but it's just finding its place in a pattern that is too big and complicated for the mind to understand. If you believe karma's clock, you know that your work is not for nothing. It means having faith that your life is more than a collection of separate events. It is a fabric being put together by hands that you can't see. Sometimes, the effects of your work don't show up until a long time after you've stopped working on them. Someone may remember a kind word you said years ago and feel better today. If you made a moral choice, it might have protected you in ways you'll never fully understand. It's not just about getting what you want right now. You're also making bridges, gardens, and paths that people can't see. Karma has a schedule that takes into account not only what you want, but also who you really are. Buddhist monks talk a lot about merit, which is the good things that happen when you do the right thing and add up over time, like putting drops of water into a jar one at a time. Each drop doesn't seem to matter. Every time you show patience, kindness, or forgiveness, it might not seem like it makes a difference. But the jar gets full over time. Over time, things that aren't seen before become clear. Over time, the work you thought was forgotten comes back to you in ways that amaze and humble you. Once you learn to trust karma's clock, you won't need to worry about how or when the fruits will come. The world around you doesn't know everything. It sees threats that you can't. It sees chances that you aren't ready for yet. If your hard work doesn't seem to pay off, it's not because you did something wrong. This is because the dirt is still getting deeper, the conditions are still getting better, and the roots are still getting stronger. Giving up control over this process is a type of quiet heroism that not many people talk about, but that changes people's lives from the inside out. When you stop expecting life to pay you back on your timetable, a secret magic starts to show itself. You start to see the little miracles, the kindness I didn't expect. There are doors that open on their own, the sudden waves of peace that hit you when you stop fighting what is. You stop asking for great things to happen in your life and start making them happen with life itself. You begin to understand that the energy you send out has already shaped your path, even if you haven't seen or felt the effects yet. In Buddhism, one of the most freeing facts is that you are not working for a reward right now. You are working to shape your own soul. Being more patient, forgiving, generous, and having faith makes the picture of who you are shine brighter. You will feel it even if no one ever sees it or applauds it. It will feel like you're becoming lighter, more stable, and stronger. That's the real prize. That is the prize that will never be taken by thieves or let down by sadness. Amazing things happen when you start living this way. You no longer need to be praised all the time. Stop trying to get results like a kid trying to catch bubbles. As you walk, you feel more proud of yourself. A quiet faith that your inner world is doing well, no matter what the outside world looks like. You are no longer waiting for people to like you. The way you choose to live shows that you already like yourself. Even when it seems like the night will never end or the road isn't visible, karma's quiet clock is always running. With each breath you take, each step you take, and each choice you make your life better. Over time, your life will grow. Not when you want, but when life wants. Not by your watch, but by something deeper that holds your best interests in ways you can't see yet. As you rest deeper into the quiet of tonight, feel the satisfaction of not having to hurry to get your rewards. You can rest easy, knowing that all the good things you didn't go to waste. Feel better, knowing that something unseen is always working and moving toward a future that recognizes all the hard work you have put in. The seeds have been put down, the water has been poured out. Even when clouds cover it up, the sun is still shining. You're not behind. We haven't forgotten about you. People like you are part of a time that goes beyond fear, impatience, and doubt. You're exactly where you need to be, and the work you've done in silence, with patience, and with hope has not been lost. Your life is already turning into the one you were meant to live. Another big change starts when you start to believe that life is already working for you, even when you can't see it. It's not enough to just believe in karma. You have to stop the invisible race you've been in without even noticing it. You are going to drop out of the race tonight. There was a slower, more peaceful flow to your life that you will remember tonight. It was freedom that you have been waiting for all along. The pressure that most people feel isn't something they think about. The idea that you should have done certain things, checked off certain boxes, and climbed certain steps by a certain age. A timeline that wasn't made by your soul, but by fear, need to compare, and standards. Life starts to feel like a race before you know it. A crazy, out-of-breath race where falling behind means you've failed and slowing down means you're embarrassed. Buddhism, on the other hand, looks at this race with a soft smile, because it knows that the race isn't real. Being in a hurry to reach goals makes it hard to see how important where you are right now. Nature doesn't believe that things have to happen in a certain order. That's just how people think. It comes from comparing, fear, and not feeling safe. Trees don't rush to bloom before the ones next to them. If one river flows more slowly than others, it doesn't bother them. The mind is the only thing that makes pain happen by making life a competition. Being a part of this race is bad because it never stops. You keep telling yourself that when you hit a certain goal, you'll finally be at peace, but you never get there. Not enough, the mind says. Not yet. Keep running, they tell you, and you do. You keep running, but happiness is always just beyond your reach. Getting tired sets in. The anger grows. Life turns into a never-ending cycle. Buddhism is a different way to live. A way that doesn't say no to dreams or growth, but also doesn't make them into chains. It shows that winning the race is not the only way to be happy. Getting off the tracks is where you can find it. You can find it when you understand that your life is not a race to be won, but a work of art to be lived. Some beautiful things happen when you don't have to meet any goals. You begin to move with the truth instead of fear. You start making choices based on knowledge instead of fear. You learn that the real treasures of life, like happiness, peace, connection, and depth, are never at the end of a made-up game. They are always here and now, hidden in the times you used to hurry through. It is said in Tibetan, if you miss the present moment, you miss your whole life. This is the tragedy of the race attitude. It takes away your life while making you believe you're working hard to get it back. It makes you run past the sunsets, the laughs, and the small victories, always chasing a future that never quite makes you happy when it comes. If you go past a goal, it doesn't mean you stop working hard or dreaming. You no longer base your worth on how quickly things happen. It means you start to believe that your path is unique and different from everyone else's. It means you respect the sacred time for your own blooming, even if it doesn't match the schedules you've been given. It's simple to forget that everyone has a unique road. It depends on the flower. Some bloom in spring, some in summer, and some not until the first frost. Some lives end in early victory, while others build up slowly but steadily until they reach a breathtaking peak. There isn't just one right time frame. You are the only one who can choose how things progress. The idea of race is fed by comparison. It makes you think you're behind because someone else got there before you. But Buddhism says that one cause of pain is comparing things, because every being is different. There are different trips every time, like saying that the sunrise is better than the sunset, because both are beautiful and important, and they happen at the exact right time. When you let go of the thought that you are late, you relax in some way. Take a break from comparison every so often to get some peace back. You always come back to the simple, holy truth. You are living now when you stop treating your life like a list of due dates. That's enough. Understanding how to not strive is one of the most important things that Buddhism teaches. Not trying doesn't mean you don't care. Giving up is not what it means. That you should act out of love, joy, and interest, not out of need, fear, or pressure. It means doing your best and letting go of the need to control when things happen. You have to trust that the work itself is enough and not base your sense of self-worth on how quickly things get done. Stopping to race means beginning to live. You start to enjoy the little things again, like how the sun feels on your skin, how kind someone is, or how beautiful a simple meal is. Like this is what real life is like. Not the medals, not the important dates. You were too busy with the race to notice the holy pauses that you missed. Getting past deadlines can also heal a deep heart wound, the pain of never feeling like you've done enough. You will always feel like you are failing, falling behind, or running out of time if you base your life on times set by other people. When you take that false step back, though, you start to see that you were never behind. You were just growing at the right time for you. When walking, walk. When eating, eat. This is a Zen saying that sounds very simple, almost too simple, but it holds a truth that will change everything. Being present is stronger than making progress. It's more important to enjoy where you are than to hurry to where you think you should be. The biggest successes are often ones that no one else can see. For example, the victory of being kind during a tough time, the victory of being patient over panicking, and the victory of going at your own pace when everyone else wants you to hurry up. You can move more slowly. You can take a break. You can believe that going more slowly is not causing you to miss out on anything in your life. You're really getting it. It's okay to let go of goals that are becoming chains. You can breathe deeper than what the world thinks you should. Life is not a straight line, that's the truth. It moves back and forth, twists and turns, and sometimes just stands still. You can't always see growth. It's not always easy to see progress. Things that seem to be still can actually be moving very slowly. What seems like a delay is sometimes just life getting ready to send you into a much bigger goal than the one you were racing toward. If you let go of the idea that life is a race, you will start to measure your days by how much you truly live instead of how much you accomplish. You start to value peace more than getting things done, meaning more than speed, and being real over looking good. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start to make a life that not only impresses other people, but also feeds your soul. As you let this truth sink deeper into your being tonight, enjoy the freedom that comes from not having to worry about meeting goals. Enjoy the freedom of not being in the race. Enjoy the freedom of being fully present where you are, without having to rush, compare, or say sorry. You're not here to beat other people. You're not here to fit someone else's plans. You came to this world to grow in your own special time, to live your own holy story, to follow your own holy way. As you rest more deeply in this truth, remember, there's no race. There's no end point. Now is the only time. That's enough for now. You can find something even deeper now that the stress of racing has started to lift. It's not enough to just quit the race. You have to learn to move through life in a new way, without rushing or holding back. Instead, you have to find a pace that is so natural and wise that you are at peace no matter what is going on around you. Everyone has a small amount of stress inside them. When fear sets in, the need to speed things up. If worry starts to creep in, you might want to put things off. If you feel nervous, it's easy to push too hard. And if you feel afraid, it's easy to feel too hesitant. Buddhism, on the other hand, shows a different way, a way out of the mess. You don't have to fight the flow, but you also don't have to give up your part in it. The middle road of timing shows us that life isn't about pushing or stopping. It's about being aware of how you move. When the time is right to act, stopping when it's not necessary. You have to accept that life has a flow, and your job is not to control it, but to feel it, dance with it, and trust it. You try to beat your own becoming when you rush. You try to pull fruit off of a tree whose roots are still growing, and what you get is bitterness instead of ripe sweetness. Holding back takes away your courage to take advantage of new chances, making you cling to a false sense of safety. And you don't get peace. You get nothing. Both running and holding back are ways of blocking the way life should naturally go. Both make people suffer. You have to be more brave to take the middle road. You need to be awake enough to know when to move and when to stay still. It wants you to tune out fear and stress and pay attention to the soft voice of knowledge that knows when the ground is ready to be tilled, the water is clear, and the door is open. It's not easy to learn this balance. The mind wants to know for sure. People want to know for sure that if they act now, they will be repaid, or that everything will be safe if you wait long enough. But life doesn't work the way the mind does. It moves in ways that aren't logical at all. Being humble is needed to trust those processes. You have to accept that you are not in charge of time, but rather that you are a part of it. Life starts to feel different when you find the middle ground when it comes to time. Not as much fear, no more grasping, less sadness. You begin to realize that many of your biggest mistakes happened when you rushed into things your heart wasn't ready for, or pushed away from things your soul was asking you to do. Between those 2 points of view is where wisdom grows. When you mix patience and bravery, you get wise. The middle path teaches that action is holy as long as it comes from knowing something and not having to do it. When you wait out of readiness and not fear, it's holy. Every moment, life asks you to pay attention, not to ask, "What should I do?" but, "What is true now?" The truth will sometimes help you move forward. It will ask you to stay still sometimes. Both are growth as long as they are in line with each other. We often rush because we don't want to miss out on something. A fear that something will be lost forever if you don't grab it now. But Buddhist knowledge tells you that you can't lose what is meant for you just because you miss a moment. You won't have to go against your own schedule to get what's meant for you. When both the inside and outside factors are right, it will line up. Instead, people often hold back because they are afraid of failing. A fear that taking a chance will cause you to lose something, hurt someone, or look bad. But the middle road helps you remember that risk is always a part of growth. That doubt can sometimes be the key to your next becoming. It's like waiting for a day without clouds. It sounds nice in theory, but isn't possible in real life. Being able to live without going to either side gives you a lot of freedom. You don't have to keep your foot on the gas or brake all the time. You can live with the flow. You can act from the present, not the past. Don't avoid things. Instead, rest from knowing them. The middle road of timing isn't always the same. It's living. It feels soft. You have to pay attention to your soul like a swimmer pays attention to the wind and the tides. There will be days when you need to be brave. On some days, you'll be told to stay where you are. You should not try to force them to do one or the other. Instead, you should listen carefully and act what you hear. In Buddhism, the middle road is often shown as an instrument that needs to be tuned. It will break if the string is too tight. It won't make music if the string is too loose. It will only sing when it is tuned just right. Things are the same in your life. It gets too hard and you give up. If you wait too long, you'll get stuck. When you're in balance, your soul starts to sing. This balance isn't something that was just done. It's something you do every day, even moment by moment. You have to be honest with yourself. Do I act out of fear right now? Is my waiting smart, or just a way to avoid something? Do I move forward because the time is right, or because I can't wait any longer? Do I not move because the ground needs more work, or because I am afraid of change? These are not complaints. They are questions, inviting people to come. They lead back to a more stable position. Taking the middle road also teaches you to care about other people and yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself for not being faster, stronger, or more sure of what you want. You understand that everyone is still learning how to navigate the waves of life. You start to believe that mistakes are not fails, but rather parts of the tuning process. You don't feel bad about letting yourself change, learn, and grow. The middle way tells you to keep your dreams close, but not too close. Don't let them go, but don't choke them either. To plant them like seeds, to water them with action when the time is right, and to believe in them enough to let them grow without constantly getting in the way. In order to grow, dreams need room and attention. They can grow when there is a balance between effort and surrender. A lot of the time, feeling nervous, rushed, or stressed out means you are trying to do too much too quickly. It is often a sign that you have gone too far into withholding when you feel stuck, restless, or heavy. These feelings don't hate each other. They mean something. If you want to get back to the middle and ask again, what is true right now? Take these steps. Being perfect is not what the middle road is about. It's about being there. It means being aware of when you've swung too far in either direction and gently, without judging yourself, coming back to balance. It's about having faith that the way will find you again, even if you get lost. It helps to remember that time is not a punishment, but a friend. The fact that life is not against you, whether things move slowly or quickly. If you're ready to go with the flow, life is always with you. This evening, as you go deeper into this understanding, feel the space inside you grow. Trust that both action and stillness are sacred when they come from listening instead of fear. Do what needs to be done when it's time and rest when it's needed. You don't need to push your way through. You don't need to hold it hostage. One smart step at a time is all you need to do. You will find that life itself is your best guide, best partner, and best source of peace while you do this. It's time for you to feel a quieter, deeper truth as your heart starts to learn the gentle art of balancing movement and silence. It's knowing that some things need time and can't be rushed. even if you're smart and stay on the middle road. You have to learn to accept an old rhythm that runs through everything, no matter how hard you try. Tonight, we fully trust each other. Every face, no matter how calm it looks, hides a secret anger. When will my work pay off? When will my healing be over? When will my love, my peace, my dream finally come true? This is a question that is whispered in lonely times, and the solution feels heavy when it seems too far away. Buddhism, on the other hand, has a quiet, bold answer. The fruit ripens on its own. You can't force it to happen before its time, and you can't worry about it either. There is no angry staring at the tree's branches from the tree, telling the flowers to open faster. Rocks in the way of the river don't get yelled at by it. Even though nature isn't in a hurry, everything gets done. Wisdom is built into the very fabric of life. When the conditions are right, everything will unfold slowly and patiently. This isn't being lazy. This is not being passive. This means having faith in the inner alchemy that transforms unseen work into things that can be seen. Buddhist practice teaches that when you do something with good intentions, you plant a seed. When you are aware, every breath you take feeds it. Every little choice you make that leads to truth and kindness grows it. You don't decide when it breaks the surface, though. It's not up to you how fast it grows. You are taking care of things, not making clocks. You should take care of the dirt, not pull at the sprouts. You feel a different kind of peace when you start living this way. A peace that doesn't change based on what happens. A peace that doesn't depend on success being seen. A peace that comes from believing that forces you can't see are always at work and that your part is important, even if you can't see the benefits yet. One of the best tests of trust is being able to keep showing up for your life without having proof right away that it's working. To keep being kind, even when other people are quiet. Even when it feels dry, keep going to your practice. Not to give up hope for growth, even if all you see are bare twigs. No matter how good your goals are, you can't speed up the slow alchemy of work and nature. You can't make the sun rise faster. Because you get anxious, healing doesn't happen faster on its own. Love doesn't grow faster just because you want it to. In life, everything deep and important grows at its own pace, not yours. In a strange way, this is what makes them valuable. It would lose its meaning if everything came right away when you asked for it. If you could have any dream right away, it wouldn't be able to change you. The waiting, taking care of, and growing that you don't see is what gets you ready to accept what you want without being crushed by it or losing yourself in it. An old Buddhist story says that a man tried to make plants grow faster by pulling on them, but he killed them instead. It is clear what the lesson is. You can't force some things to happen. Some things are only okay to do. One of those things is your life, your health, and your becoming. Buddhist wisdom tells you to come back to presence when you feel frustrated that the fruit hasn't shown up yet. To remember that every moment spent being honest, kind, and doing the right thing is already satisfying. You're not getting ready to live. You are now alive. You don't have to wait for real life to begin. It has already started. To live this way, you need to have quiet bravery. It takes guts to believe that slow growth is still growth. The faith that change that can't be seen is still change. You need to have the courage to stop needing to be reassured all the time and accept that nature's timing is better than your own. It's not a waste of time or effort that results are delayed. Love isn't lost just because it's not repaid right away. It hasn't failed to heal because it doesn't move in straight lines. Even though you and no one else can see the whole picture yet, the work you do in the places that can't be seen, in your thoughts, in your habits, and in your prayers, is creating your future. The fruit gets ready on its own. It doesn't need your stress to move forward. It needs your constant attention, your kindness, your choice to stay true even when doubt starts to creep into your mind. You don't have to give up just yet because the harvest hasn't come. Don't give up just because the tree looks empty. You are not being punished for being slow. It's changing you. You are being asked to trust more deeply, and that trust will help you long after this time of waiting is over. Don't try to hurry the ripening process. Instead, enjoy the beauty of the process itself. You understand that each little step is important. The fact that you choose peace over fear every morning makes you stronger. How every time you forgive someone, even if it doesn't seem like it, it makes your soul shine. How every choice to be there, breathe, and believe is a part of the roots that will one day bear fruit that can be seen. Buddhist knowledge tells us that the fruit is not the end, even when it comes. It's just another beginning, another round of planting, taking care of, watching, and trusting. Life isn't a straight line with a clear end goal. It is a spiral, a dance that gets deeper over time of effort and surrender, action and trust, giving and getting. Your never-ending need for quick fixes goes away when you live this way. It frees you from the shallow mindset of getting things right away. It joins you to the earth's deeper, older rhythms. These are the rhythms that know how to make mountains, oceans, and forests without ever hurrying or doubting. You can tap into a deep, ancient patience that goes beyond your mind's anger and your fears. The kind of calm that knows you're right where you need to be. A patience that smiles as your soul slowly grows. A kind of patience that can see changes even when everyone else can't. Tonight, let yourself let go of your anger. Let yourself rest in the knowledge that all of your hard work has already been woven into your life's big fabric. Allow yourself to breathe more deeply, trust more deeply, and let go of the heavy burden of having to control when your own unfolding will happen. You're not behind. We haven't forgotten about you. That's not a fail. Your growth is too deep for the naked eye to see yet. And when the time is right, you will grow in ways that are too beautiful to have been hurried. As you feel the deep calm of nature settle into your heart, there is one more tender truth that you need to see. No matter how much you trust someone, there are times when you want to pick the fruit before it's ready. To help you heal faster, to get smart quickly, to get you there quickly. But you're going to let go of that duty tonight. You're about to enter a state of even greater freedom. The freedom to let each lesson arrive at its own perfect time. When you try to force your own development, you feel a quiet pain that doesn't come from not trying hard enough. There's a voice inside that says, "I should have known this already. This should be over now. You should be further ahead." That voice has a violent tone to it. It gets in the way of how you naturally grow, making it more like a battle than a trip. Buddhism says that you can't rush real growth. This means that each lesson in life comes at the exact time that the heart is ready to receive it, not before or after. You can't hurry through your lessons. That would be like pulling at flower petals to get them to grow. You hurt its ability to open on its own, not help it. There's a mistake that led to this hurrying. It comes from thinking that you have to be perfect before you can rest, feel worthy, or be loved. That idea is torn apart by Buddhist wisdom, which is clear and gentle. You're not here to quickly become the best version of yourself. You are here to live, learn, fall, rise, and keep changing. Everything the same way, over and over again, with love. You lose the healing when you try to heal too quickly. Do not forget to forgive when you are in a hurry. If you try to wake up too quickly, you might miss it. They are deep, not in getting to a new state, but in the slow, sometimes painful, sometimes beautiful development that changes you in ways you could never have planned. There are 1,000 quiet lessons in every wound you carry, every habit you are trying to break, and every fear you are learning to get over. And these lessons aren't just for your head. They need to be lived. You have to feel them in your bones, take them in with your heart, and weave them into the very fabric of who you are. It takes time. To do that, you have to fall down, get back up, question, give up, and start over many times. There is no easy way out of this. There is no quick way to become wise, and trying to hurry it only makes the pain worse. Being in a hurry doesn't make you move faster. You just move forward with more stress, anger, and criticism of yourself. You turn the journey into a punishment instead of the gift it was built to be. They often tell their students that knowledge is not a sudden flash that falls from the sky. Slowly and steadily, many moments of being present, many moments of giving up, and many moments of returning to the truth when the mind wanders add up. It's being built up, one moment at a time, like drops of water adding up to a big ocean. Giving up on early harvest means giving up the idea that you can skip the messy parts of growing. It means recognizing that the stage you are in right now is holy, even if it feels unfinished, awkward, or too slow to bear. It means having faith that the things you are learning now, no matter how hard or small they may seem, are not getting in the way of your progress. They show the way. You start to really learn when you stop being in a hurry. You start to pay more attention to what life is trying to teach you through every mistake, every confusion, and every sudden turn. You start to find the gold that was hidden in the things you used to try so hard to avoid. You understand that the goal was never to become the best version of yourself. The goal was always to be fully present in what was happening, to be open to each moment instead of resisting it, to be humble instead of impatient as you start each lesson. It's strange, but the slower you try to speed up your growth, the faster and deeper it actually happens. There is no need for pressure to bring about real change. It's fed by being there. It grows where you are kind to yourself, not where you criticize yourself. You plant the seeds of real knowledge every time you let yourself be where you are without trying to be somewhere else. You grow deeper roots every time you respect the speed at which you are changing. When you accept that you are human and don't try to change it, you let the gentle alchemy that turns experience into knowledge happen. Letting go of early harvest also teaches you not to compare yourself to other people. Each soul has its own lessons. Each heart learns at its own speed and in its own way. Seeing your growth next to someone else's is like seeing an apple ripen next to a rose open. Everyone has its own beat. Each one makes the world more beautiful in its own way. When you stop rushing, you can also enjoy the trip more when you slow down. You become more aware of how much strength you are building while you wait. How much sense is being made out of the mess. How much tenderness is being formed in places you didn't think anything was going on. It is said by the Buddha that the way to freedom is like crossing a river. You can't cross it quickly or you'll fall in. You have to be careful, take things one step at a time, and accept the flow even when it takes you in ways you didn't expect. You're not going in the wrong direction when you're in the middle of the river. That's where you belong. It's the holy center of the trip. Giving up the early harvest means accepting that space in the middle, being completely inside it, having faith that forces greater and more kind than your fear are shaping you, believing that your life is in charge, even if you don't think it is. It also means letting go of the fact that you're not finished, for not being able to figure everything out, for still falling, still having trouble, and still learning. The truth is that even the masters, the saints, and the enlightened ones have been where you are now, unsure, anxious, and wanting to move forward faster. This stage didn't make them who they are. They lived it fully, quietly, and with a lot of trust. Tonight, as you let these words make you feel softer, let the pressure go away. Do not hold on to the schedule you have been thinking about. Get rid of the idea that you should be perfect by now. You don't. All you have to do is be here, still alive, ready, open. The lessons you are taking now are not less important just because they are taking longer. Don't throw them away because they're messy. They're not broken because they're not finished. They are holy. They are helping you become the person you are slowly and beautifully becoming. Soil will give all it can when the time is right and the roots are deep enough. The fruit will then grow. It happened because you trusted it, not because you forced it. Because you took the time to do it, not because you were in a hurry. You're not behind. You're not hurt. That's not a fail. You are quietly, bravely, and beautifully becoming the person you were meant to be. That's more than enough. Now that you don't have to rush your growth as much, another quiet opening opens up in front of you. A way into a truth that is so deep and freeing that it will make your whole life feel better. It's not enough to just hope that the fruit will ripen slowly. It means understanding that every delay, pause, and moment of silence is not an interruption. This is an offer, an important, secret message from life itself to grow in ways you wouldn't have chosen but are necessary. When things don't go as fast as you had hoped, you feel very sad. Why isn't it happening yet? Asks a person. What's wrong with me? It's easy to feel forgotten at those times, not noticed, stopped. But Buddhist knowledge shows us a different way to look at things. It shows that waiting is not a bad thing. Taking your time is part of the lesson. It's often the hand of Dharma that leads you deeper into your fate, not away from it. Truth is what Dharma means in its most basic form. It refers to the rule that things happen when you are at peace with life and not trying to change it. And the highest Dharma doesn't always move at the speed you want it to. When your soul is fully ready, it moves at its own speed. It holds you back sometimes, not to hurt you, but to keep you safe, get you ready, and polish you so you're strong enough to hold the gifts that are coming. Something inside you relaxes when you learn to see delay this way. You stop seeing problems where there are chances to do something. When there is guidance, you stop seeing rejection. When there is planning, you stop seeing punishment. Life starts to make you less angry, scared, and resistant to the stops and twists that it always adds to your journey. The mind loves to make plans and guess what will happen. It likes plans that are clear and have straight lines. But growth in the real world isn't always a straight line. In real life, growth curves move in ways that the mind can't imagine. They loop, dive, stop, and soar. Growth that is real flows like a river, not a road. It gets lost. It takes a break. It gets stronger in secret places before charging forward again. That river is smart because it takes its time. You can get the strength you didn't know you needed during this time. You can learn lessons that you would not have had the chance to learn if things had gone as planned. It gives you time to meet parts of yourself that come out only when you have to listen and things slow down. The teachings of Buddhism tell us that impatience is often caused by ego. The ego needs the prize right away. The ego wants the road to be simple, straight, and known ahead of time. The mind knows better, though. People with a soul know that the best things in life are hidden behind doors that can only be opened with time, humility, and submission. When there is a delay, you are being asked to build a stronger connection based on trust. You are being told to let go of your ideas about when and how things should happen. You are being asked to look at things differently and not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Putting things off can sometimes keep you safe from effects you can't see yet. They will sometimes push you to learn skills that you will need later on. They might test your patience, kindness, and strength from time to time, but not as a punishment, but to get you ready for the life you said you wanted. The break is the only time when you can grow in a certain way. A kind of strength that gets stronger when things are unclear. A kind of knowledge that you can only see when you have to stay still long enough to look past your wants and needs. If you try to fight them, life's stops can feel mean. If you try to rush through them, they might seem like a waste of time. But they can be some of the most powerful and life-changing parts of your life if you lean in, listen, and know that even the silence has meaning. The Buddha's own life was full of delays and changes of plans. He spent years wandering, looking, failing, and asking questions before he woke up under the Bodhi tree. You didn't waste those years. They were very important. He would not have been ready to hear the final truth without them. His delay was his Dharma playing out at the right, painful, and beautiful time. Your wait times are the same. Your life isn't stuck. We will never forget your soul. You are just in a time when hidden growth is happening, because the roots are going deeper than your fears, where your character is being formed in ways that will help you get further in life than any shortcut could. Things change when you start to trust this. Do not scream at the wait. Now you start to respect it. You start to ask more in-depth questions. You begin to seek not only results, but also ideas. You start to see every break as a holy school where life itself is the teacher. You understand that the break is not empty. It is full of work that can't be seen. You thought the recovery had stopped, but it's actually getting stronger. When you thought your dreams were dying, they were really growing up. The parts of you that felt stuck are getting stronger. When you look at it this way, waiting turns from something that makes you sad into something that makes you thankful. That doesn't make things easier, but it makes you feel better. You should remember that the tree is still growing even though you can't see the fruit yet. You learn to live with open hands instead of closed fists, to stop being so set in your ways about how fast things should go, that you should let life surprise you with better results than you could have planned. Soon, you won't even be aware of it. You change into someone else, someone with more patience, someone you can trust more, someone with more strength, someone who cares more about everyone, not just you, who is dealing with their own delays that they can't see. You begin to understand that everyone is going through hidden times of waiting. There are hopes inside everyone that haven't come true yet. Slowly and sadly, everyone is learning how to trust a bigger plan than their own. One of the most freeing changes you can make is to see wait as Dharma. It frees you from the false belief that when things move slowly, your life is going away. It grounds you in the truth that life is always changing, even when it seems still. It helps you remember that your worth is not based on how fast you go, that your worth doesn't depend on how far you've come, that how quickly you achieve success doesn't show how important you are. In the pause, the waiting, and the slow unfolding, it grounds you in the inner knowing that you are enough right now. This is because growth is happening in ways the mind can't yet understand. Allow this truth to sink into your bones tonight as you breathe more slowly and deeply. You're not stuck. You're not getting in trouble. You won't be left behind. You are being shaped by hands that are smarter than your ideas. You are being set up for gifts that are even better than you thought possible. People are asking you to trust them in a way that can't be broken by any wait, pause, or surprise turn. You're right where you should be. The life you were meant to live is already on its way to you, one holy, quiet moment at a time. As the wisdom of accepting life's breaks starts to sink deeper into your heart, there's still one quiet lie that you need to get rid of. A lie that wears on your soul, whispering when you're tired and blaming when you're not sure what to do. The voice tells you that you are behind, that you missed your chance, that time is running out. But we're going to show that lie to be a lie tonight. Tonight, you're going to break out of that false belief and take back your proper place in how your life is going. When you compare yourself to periods that you can't see, a heavy sadness sets in, a sense that you went in the wrong direction somewhere, that by now you should have done more, that everyone else knows what to do, but you're still lost. Not many people talk about how lonely they are, but most people feel it. That weight gets heavier with each birthday, every scroll through social media, and every comparison that's muttered. Buddhism says that this kind of pain is really attachment to false ideas. The idea that there is a single schedule for happiness, success, or growth that works for everyone. But the truth is that life is not like a moving belt. You are not being timed against by a master clock. There is only the sacred and mysterious trip of each soul, which happens at just the right time, even if it doesn't look anything like the stories you've heard. Being behind is just a thought trick. Compare, judge, and be afraid are what it's based on. It's based on the idea that you can neatly compare the endless, rich, and messy experience of being human to a list of goals. You forget that each life blooms at its own time, for reasons that aren't possible for the mind to understand. When one tree blooms after another, it doesn't feel bad about it. There is no way for a river to feel bad about taking longer to get to the sea. People are the only ones who make their lives into races they were never meant to run, thanks to their complicated demands and fears that they have learned. You lose touch with the beauty of your own road when you think you are behind. You stop seeing the things that are hidden in your path. You miss the little, lovely things that are changing you in ways that can't be changed by taking a shortcut. Buddhism says that pain isn't just the result of bad luck. It's because of the stories we tell about those events. I am late, I am wrong, I have failed, is one of the most painful stories. However, this story falls apart when you look at the inner truth. The truth is that you've never been late for anything in your life. The truth that every delay, detour, and mistake you've made in your life has been a sacred part of shaping, seasoning, and getting ready for the life that is truly yours. To see your way with fresh eyes, you need to be tender. To stop being hard on yourself for not being somewhere else. To value where you are as an important part of the journey that is still developing beautifully, not as a sign that you failed to get there. You start to notice something deep when you let go of the idea that you are behind. You realize that many of the most important traits you admire in other people, like wisdom, strength, kindness, and depth, didn't come about quickly, easily, or clearly. They were shaped by hard work, patience, and times when they didn't know what they were doing, when they weren't ready, or when they didn't fit into neat schedules. You start to understand that your delays, problems, and questions do not mean you are broken. They are the fires that make you strong. They are the rains that keep your roots healthy. They are the gifts you can't see that will one day let you give the world something real, something true, something that can't be beat. Letting go of personal timelines also means letting go of comparisons that are bad for you and take away your joy. Always keep in mind that you can't see the whole story of someone else's life. You see their highlight clips, their polished moments, and the big steps they've taken in public. People don't show you the nights they questioned their choices, the years they roamed, or the wounds they carry in silence. You will always feel behind when you compare your live story to someone else's trimmed highlight reel. But when you look at your own life again, you start to see that you are not behind at all. Your life is busy, beautiful, imperfect, and full of life. You're in the right place to learn what you need to learn and grow into the person you were meant to be. One of the most important things that Buddhism teaches is the practice of beginner's mind, which means being able to accept each moment as it comes without judging it or making plans for when it should happen. An open mind knows that each moment is new, each step is different. Every breath is a new start. You can be a beginner even if you are 30 or 50 or 80 years old. You're welcome to bloom late. You can go in a different way. You are free to go the long way home. Because the soul doesn't care about the days of the week. It wants the truth. It's interested in depth. It wants to become, not get there. You start living in real time when you stop thinking you are behind. You stop being sad about the chances you think you missed and start recognizing the ones that are right in front of you. You start to receive the surprise gifts that only show up when you're not focused on being somewhere else. You start to believe that people still care about you, that every step you take, even the ones that feel pointless or slow, is leading you to a future that is more real, rich, and full of possibilities than anything you could have made by force. Being able to see through the idea of being behind you also makes you want to be nicer to yourself. Stop being mean to yourself when you push yourself. To begin supporting yourself in the same way you would help a close friend or a little kid learn to walk. If a child falls, you wouldn't tell them they failed. In the winter, you wouldn't tell a tree it's not worth anything. You wouldn't rush the river or make the seed look bad. You'd believe in the process. The seasons would be true to you. You would trust how things develop. That trust should be given to you too. That kind of kindness should be given to you too. As you sit down to remember more tonight, feel the weight of false dates lifting off your chest. Stepping out of the race you were never meant to run will make you feel free. Feel the soft power of going back to your own way, your own time, and your own sacred rhythm. You're not behind schedule. You're not lost. You're not behind. You are slowly, proudly, and beautifully changing into who you were meant to be in this very moment. That's more than enough. Now that the weight of false timelines is off your shoulders and you're standing firmly on your own holy ground, you can see another hidden thread. It's how the mind still tries to jump ahead to a future that isn't here yet and to events that haven't happened yet. You will be able to see that post very well tonight, and you're going to slowly free yourself from it tonight. A soft hunger makes even the calmest hearts beat faster. A soft reach that says, "I'll be happy when..." You might not even notice it at first. It can be found in desire. It puts on the mask of hope. You want something, though, and you feel trapped in a future that doesn't exist yet. And when you get too excited about the future, you give up the wealth of the present for the hope of the future. Buddhists believe that clinging is what causes pain. Anticipation is one of the most alluring kinds of attachment. This is the idea that you will finally find peace, joy, and worth when a certain thing happens. The sound is safe. The sound of it even inspires me. But deep down, it's an expression of being unhappy with the present moment. There's a quiet refusal to be fully present because the mind is so busy making plans for the future. You stop living your life when you want things to happen in the future. You start to live in the images that come up in your thoughts. There are small things going on right now that you miss because you are too busy chasing pictures that haven't even formed yet. Sometimes you miss the real work, love, and peace that are only here, right now. You hear lies from anticipation. Just a little more, it says. Just one more step. After that, you can take a break. After that, you can breathe. That way, you can be happy. But the hunger stays no matter how many dreams you touch or goals you reach. It just moves the finish line around over and over, so real peace will never be reached. The never-ending loop is caused by a basic misunderstanding. People think that happiness comes from what comes next, not from how they deal with what is happening now. This mistake is turned on its head by Buddhist wisdom. It shows that the quality of your life is not based on what you get or accomplish. You can tell by how deeply you can be present in this moment, just the way it is, without wanting it to be different. When you realize that expectation is not inspiration, but attachment, you can feel how much it drains your energy, how much it makes you anxious, irritable, and restless, how much it makes you less clear, less grateful, and less present. You start to notice that the body gets tighter when you're excited. It makes a tense, buzzing sound in the background that keeps you from fully relaxing. Fear is always present when your happiness depends on something that might happen in the future. You might be afraid that it won't happen, that it won't be enough if it does happen, or that you'll miss your chance. When you cut this unseen cord, you'll be truly free. When life stops giving you deals, when you stop telling yourself, "I'll be whole when," and start living your life based on the truth that you are whole now, even if your dreams haven't come true or your questions haven't been answered. By teaching you mindfulness, or the art of fully getting where you are, Buddhism can help you find this freedom. Being mindful pulls your attention back to the wealth of this breath, this step, this heartbeat, and breaks the addiction to wanting more. Being mindful helps you understand that the surprise is not just around the corner. It's here, in the way the air touches your skin, in the way that the ground supports your weight. Like how even a small act of kindness can change the world in ways you can't fully see. You can still move toward your dreams when you don't let stress hold you back. You still plant seeds for tomorrow, but you do it without waiting for tomorrow to prove it. You do it with a lightness and freedom that says, "I have lived fully even if it never comes. I have loved fully. I've given it my all." There is a deep joy that comes from not focusing so much on the future. A happiness that comes from being here to see the perfection already taking place, not because everything is perfect. A happiness that doesn't depend on anything, on results, or on vows. You get back your life when you let go of expectation. You no longer live in the difference between where you are and where you think you should be. You start to enjoy the easy, natural beauty of your real life, not the life you're dreaming about, or the life you hope to have someday. In Buddhism, we are told that the future is only a dream. There is no such thing as it outside of the mind. Now is the only real time. Now is the only time that is living, can feed you, change you, and wake you up right now. You don't need to judge yourself when you're in the middle of a desire or when your hands are reaching forward. Just take note, just go back, again and again, slowly, kindly, and calmly, come back to now. Every time you do it, you break free from the invisible chains of expectation a little more. Every time you do it, you get one step closer to the freedom that was always there. But you couldn't hear it because your mind was so busy. You can still dream even if you don't care about what will happen in the future. It means you should stop giving up on yourself for your dreams. It means you start to see your journey as holy, not just your goal. It means that you ask different things, not "when am I going to get there?" but "how can I be fully awake here?" Not "what's next?" but "what does this moment want from me?" Not "when is enough enough?" How can I live from the truth that it's enough? Everything changes now. It turns everyday events into special ones. It makes you strong by making you wait. It turns a lack of things into plenty. It changes the way you live from a race to a prayer. If you want to see a certain kind of beauty, you have to stop running ahead of yourself. When you stop judging the worth of each day by how much further you get from a faraway goal, every day, just the way it is, holds gems that you would miss if you were always in a hurry to get to tomorrow. When you let go of the idea that something else has to happen for your happiness to be valid, you become softer. Being kind to yourself and to other people. a gentle way of being that enjoys life in all its brilliant, messy, and unpredictable forms. As you rest your body and mind tonight, let this truth sink into your heart. To be happy, you don't have to look to the future. You don't have to want things to happen in order to find purpose. To start living fully, you don't have to wait for your life to get better. There is already peace here for you. You can already feel the happiness you want right now in this very breath. And you can finally receive it when you stop trying to get it. And now, as your desires for what will happen in the future start to loosen their grip, an even more freeing truth is waiting to shine through. There is a truth that is both so easy and so powerful that it can finally free someone from a lifetime of hidden loads. You will step into that freedom tonight. You will remember tonight that life has never been about you. When things don't go as planned, it hurts deeply inside. Why me is a question that stays with me like a cloud. It's easy to feel like you're the only ones going through hard times. It's simple to think that fate has forgotten about you, left you out, or punished you. But Buddhist knowledge sees right through this heavy illusion. The rhythm of life is not personal. The universe doesn't have a choice. It also doesn't have any foes. It just follows its own rules that have been around forever, flowing without judgment and developing without bias. It's not cold to understand this. Heartless is not the word. The truth is that it is one of the most healing ideas you will ever have. Because you are free from the heavy chains of anger, self-pity, and shame once you understand that life is not out to hurt or reward you. You are free to see life as it really is, instead of through the skewed lens of your own wrongdoing. It rains on both nice and mean people. The sun comes up for both lost and found people. The seasons change without asking you, and they don't reward good behavior or punish bad behavior. Life doesn't move based on how much you deserve it. It moves based on its own old, fair rhythms. When you really understand this, you feel softer inside. Stop seeing every failure as an insult. You should no longer see every delay as a sentence. You need to stop seeing every loss as a cosmic verdict against your worth. You start to deal with life with the strength of acceptance instead. You learn that pain doesn't mean you've failed, and pleasure doesn't mean you've achieved. Both are just parts of the wheel of life that keeps turning because of causes and conditions that have nothing to do with your story. In Buddhist beliefs, this is called understanding dependent origination, which means realizing that everything comes from a huge number of connected causes and conditions. Your problems, your happiness, your sadness. Everything in your life is caused by an endless number of things that you will never see or fully understand. It's not about you. It's not a moral choice. It is what it is. When you look at things this way, you don't have to try to find purpose in every bad thing that happens. It stops you from asking painfully, "What did I do wrong?" or "Why am I being punished?" Instead, it asks you to think about something deeper and calmer. Given that this is here, how can I meet it wisely? It stops you from blaming life and starts you moving with it, going from fighting truth to going with it. You can stop trying to change the world to fit your needs and start learning how to open, adapt, and grow in the reality that is. When you stop hoping that things will go your way, you feel a fierce peace. After that, you won't waste time arguing with truth. when you don't judge your worth by how easy or hard your road looks compared to others. You begin to understand that life is not a courtroom where good things happen as prizes and bad things happen as punishments. Life is like a school. Life flows like a river. Life is a huge, complicated dance of forces and elements that change shape all the time, often not caring about what people want or how fair they are. Even so, there is a deep beauty in that lack of care, because it means that no failure can change who you are. Do not let loss stain you. You are not lessened by delay. Situations do not make you who you are. How you meet them shows who you are. You are the awareness that picks kindness over anger, bravery over hopelessness, and strength over giving up. You won't take other people's acts so personally when you stop thinking that your life is about you. You stop being hurt so much when they don't love you fully, see you clearly, or respect you fully. You know that people move in the same way that the world does, based on causes and conditions. They act based on their own pasts, hurts, and lack of vision. It's not because you are not good, but because they are caught up in their own unfolding. This view gives you room to breathe, room to forgive, a place to relax. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do harm or take blame, but it keeps you from carrying every slight, hurt and disappointment like a heavy stone on your back. There is more to life than just you, and you start to understand that. They're not in the middle of yours either. Every person is on their own complicated, beautiful, and sometimes broken road. Every person is shaped by forces that go back generations, cultures, and even lives. It doesn't make your pain less real that this is true. It doesn't mean that what you want is less important. It does, however, put them in a bigger, more caring context. A frame where you can be sad without feeling cursed, hopeful without feeling spoiled, and able to live without feeling like you've been harmed. There is no longer a fight to show that you deserve good things. No longer do you worry that you somehow made bad things happen. You are just living fully, bravely, and humbly in the great web of causes and effects, making the most of each moment without expecting the world to change its course to fit your plans. This change also changes how you feel about being thankful. You no longer see blessings as things you won. You start to see them as gifts, gifts that you should treasure, share, and accept with humility instead of pride. You stop tying your sense of self-worth to what happens. You can't judge your progress by how easy the road is. How open your heart stays through all the ups and downs is how you start to measure it. And maybe most beautifully, you start to feel compassion for all beings, not just yourself. Every soul is fighting its own invisible battles. Every heart has dreams and fears that are the same as yours, and every life is dancing to the same huge, beautiful, impersonal beat. A lightness comes into your being when you live this way. Being strong doesn't mean that everything has to go your way. Joy that doesn't come from getting what you want, but from being ready for what comes with power, wisdom, and grace. You are no longer a chess piece that fate moves around. You are a part of a mystery that is bigger than trust, control, and any story your mind could ever come up with. As you drift off to sleep tonight, let this truth relax the places in you that feel tight. You are not up against life. You don't belong in this world. Life is what it is. It's up to you to decide how to react in that big, fair dance. Feel free to show kindness. Feel free to move with bravery. You are free to live your life with an open heart. You're a part of the beat. It hasn't forgotten about you. You are not cut off from it. You are it. And you've always fit in. Now that it's more clear that life's beat is not unique to each person, something even more tender and powerful becomes clear. There is a big wheel that is always turning behind all the chaos and opposition, wins and losses. You will get closer to that wheel tonight. It will remind you that life is not a straight line, but a set of sacred cycles. These cycles are not meant to break you, but to carry you, renew you, and awaken you to a deeper way of being. When you feel like things should only get better, you get very tired. For those who think that success should last forever, love should never end, and happiness should never end. The mind holds on to the good and freaks out over the bad, always going against the natural flow of things. But Buddhist knowledge shows us a kinder, smarter way to look at things. It shows that life goes through cycles not by chance, but because it has to, and that the key to real peace is to trust these trends instead of being afraid of them. Samsara, the circle of birth, death, and rebirth that never ends, is not just an idea in the mind. It takes place every day in your own life. Joy comes into the world, shines brightly, and then goes away. Loss comes, hurts deeply, then eases up. Like a fresh wind after a long winter, renewal can come out of nowhere. This doesn't show that something is wrong. This is proof that you are still living. You suffer twice when you try to stop these processes. First, from the changes that are going to happen, and then from thinking that those changes are bad. The truth is that this world is not meant to stay the same. It doesn't matter what you do, who you are, what you achieve, or even your own thoughts and feelings. Everything changes, moves, dissolves, and turns into something new. Trying to keep something in place for a long time is like trying to hold water in your hands. There's nothing wrong with you that you can't. Water flows that way. When you trust samsara's cycles, you believe that loss is not the end. It's a way in. It means having faith that happiness is not a promise. It's a gift. It means having faith that renewal will happen on its own without your help. In the same way that spring comes after winter without being pushed, life brings it when the time is right. Buddhist advice tells you to enjoy happiness without holding on to it, to fully enjoy it, like eating a sweet fruit, knowing that the end of it doesn't make it less beautiful. It's not taught to act like loss doesn't hurt. Instead, it's taught to trust that the pain will end. Grief has its own time and place, and it will turn into new growth in ways you can't see yet. This trust isn't blind. You get stronger by going through the cycles over and over again and seeing that even the worst winters got easier and the darkest nights turned into bright days. Realizing that you have lived through every loss you thought would break you is what builds it. That you have found happiness again, even though you thought it was impossible. If you live in tune with samsara's rhythms, you will become more humble. You stop expecting things in life to go the way you want them to. Don't fight truth every time it shifts. You start to flow with the different stages of your growth, knowing that each one brings something important to the table. Joy teaches you to be thankful. Loss teaches you to be kind. Renewal teaches you to be strong. You learn something valuable about yourself through each turn that you couldn't have learned any other way. When you're feeling happy, don't be afraid to let it fill you up. Let it make your heart softer, your hands more open, and your eyes wider. Do not hold on to it or try to make it last longer than it should. Enjoy it as much as you would enjoy the bloom of a rare flower, fully and fiercely, without wanting it to last forever. When you're going through a time of loss, don't judge yourself as you cry. Feel your sadness as it flows through you like rain on the ground. Do not rush. Don't make fun of it. Let it clean you and hollow you out in the ways you need to be hollowed out so that rebirth can come later. Move with the rising energy when you are in a time of renewal. Follow the possible threads that start to show up. Believe that fresh starts are not betrayals of the past, but rather natural continuations. Allow yourself to be amazed at how easy it is to start over. The rounds of samsara are not punishments. They're the dance of life. There are steps of gain and loss, growth and shrinkage, birth and death, sadness and happiness in this dance. You're not different from this dance. You're a part of it. Every up and down in your life is a part of the great flow of life. You stop blaming yourself for things stopping when you understand this. When you're no longer happy, you stop being scared. You don't feel like you've failed just because a story ends or the seasons change. You know that you're not supposed to be in bloom all the time. In every season, you should be fully, deeply, and bravely living and present. Living this way makes you stronger in a different way, a strength that doesn't break easily and doesn't depend on everything going your way. That kind of power that can bend without breaking, cry without giving up, and be happy without holding on. It teaches you to be open to each turn instead of being resistant to it, to honor the losses as much as you honor the wins, to believe that nothing is lost and that each season is making you stronger and better prepared for the next one. Buddhism tells us that even the worst winters have their own work to do. Seeds are getting stronger under the frozen ground. Life is resting and getting ready for new growth under the dead trees. In the same way, something important is being woven beneath the top of your life, even when it seems empty. Something you won't fully understand until the spring inside you starts to move again. Trusting in samsara's processes also teaches you to care about other people. When you see someone happy, you should join them in their happiness instead of being jealous. When you see someone who has lost someone close to them, you cry with them without feeling sorry for them. You know that you've danced through those times too. You know that everything is moving in the same circle, going up and down, learning and forgetting, loving and losing and loving again. As you rest more deeply in these truths tonight, let go of the need to control the seasons of your life. Don't be so afraid of ends. Let go of the desire to be happy all the time. Believe that you are not failing because you are moving forward. Believe that you are not broken because you are sad. Trust that you're not lost just because it's winter. In the dance, you are right where you should be, and life is still moving you forward in its strange and kind way. No one else is in the same circle as you. You will not be forgotten as the world turns. You are the dance, beautiful, short-lived, and endless. Now that you're starting to believe that samsara's seasons will always be rising and dropping, ending and beginning, a new image starts to slowly come to the surface. This picture is so old and pure that it can help you see your own special unfolding. You will walk slowly into the heart of this sign tonight. You will think about how wise the flower is tonight. You were told lies about when the beginning of your life will happen. They told you that if you worked harder, pushed yourself faster, and moved on quickly, you would finally be at peace. If that were true, then why do so many busy people still feel lost? Why do you still feel anxious, antsy, and like you're running but never reaching your goal? The truth is that life isn't a race to be won. This road is safe. Buddhist thought has the road map. Some of the best leaders, like Buddha, Nagarjuna, and Dogen, worked for hundreds of years to find the real way to be peaceful, patient, and know when to act. Not by using force or strength, but by giving up. With trust in what you can't see and hope in what will happen. There will be a change in you tonight as you listen to these lessons. You won't have to worry about being behind for long. It will not be as heavy when you rush. It will stop your heart rate, calm you down, and remind you of a trust you forgot you had. When you wake up tomorrow, everything will be better. You'll walk more slowly, see more clearly, feel freer. It's not just another noise to help you sleep. This is a way in, a new way to live. One last chance to trust that everything will work out for the best without any question, fear, or stress. Are you ready? Let's begin. It's time to go deeper now that your heart and breath are getting calmer. One of the most important but little-known facts about Buddhism has been kept secret for hundreds of years. There is a truth that can help you let go of the sadness, stress, and weight you've been holding inside for too long. The process starts with a new way of waiting, a kind of patience that most people never get to try. You will tonight. A lot of people have a fear that no one else sees. The fear that things should have happened by now, or that important things are being lost because time is moving too quickly or too slowly. There are many ways that this fear shows up. Sometimes it makes me angry, sometimes sad, and sometimes like something else I can't even describe. When you fight time, though, it's always the same thing at its core, a secret sadness. As we learn about Buddhism, we see that this kind of despair isn't normal. It has been learned. It happens because your mind is trained to grab, hold on, and rush. Right away is better, sooner is better, and faster is better. This is something that people learn very early on. However, Buddhism makes one very important point very clear. Life works best when it's not pushed. If you want to find peace in your heart, don't rush things. Instead, believe deeply, wait wisely, and go with the flow of what is. Being idle or not doing anything is not what Buddhism means by patience. You have to really believe in the greater patterns of life. You need to be able to handle the time between what you want and when it comes true. Being aware of your power in that spot is what it means. You're getting ready. They are changing you. The mind will fight this at first. There will be yelling of story alerts. If you don't move quickly, it will tell you that you'll be late, miss your chance, or waste your time. This is a lie, but Buddhists are patient enough to see through it. It knows that acting desperate is a trick and not something you need to do. Buddhist knowledge says that when you feel that tightness in your chest that tells you that you should be somewhere else by now, you shouldn't see it as proof that you're late, but as proof that you're learning. Someone taught me a long time ago that running is like hard hitting yourself. When you try to speed up your health, growth, or fate, you hurt the parts of yourself that need time and care. Being patient with yourself is now a very nice thing to do. This tells your heart, I believe in you. I agree with your method. I'm not going to leave you because things are taking longer than I thought they would. It's not empty to wait. There are too many people to wait. A lot of changes are happening in the background that we can't see just yet. Just because the seed hasn't broken the surface doesn't mean nothing is happening. In the dark, under the ground, where no one can see, life is getting ready. Roots are getting bigger. The base is being put together. It's getting bigger. For the same reason, life doesn't punish you when it tells you to wait. It's getting you ready. It's making you stronger. But it's not easy. People who wait well don't get praised very often. This is the party for the fastest, biggest, and meanest people. It shows that being patient is weak and that going slowly means you'll fail. This is not what the Dhammapada, which is one of the greatest Buddhist texts, says. It says, the patient one is the strongest because they've won the most important battle, which is the one inside them. Being smart while you wait doesn't mean you don't do anything. You're getting stronger. To trust, you are getting better. You learn how to be happy all the time, not just when you get there. It's not enough for Buddhists to just wait for better times to come along. Find out that right now is not a mistake, even if it feels like something is missing. Your soul will be happy there. In the long run, giving up power can give you soft power. You can see that being desperate isn't normal. It comes from what other people expect of you. By now, things should be different, your mind tells you. Everything is going exactly as it should, your heart tells you. Each slow breath you take makes this truth stronger. You feel at peace when you fully present yourself in every moment, even when things don't go as planned. Holding on to things makes a lot of people hurt. Many people don't know this, but one of the best ways to connect is to hold on to time. The thing that keeps you from being happy is the thought that your job should be further along, your relationship should have shown up by now, and your healing should be done by now. You can get out of that trap if you have Buddhist patience. Giving up the need to chase another life lets you live the one that's in front of you. This is like a river that doesn't rush to get to the sea. Instead, it flows slowly through mountains and valleys. It always knows how fast it is moving. It has faith in its own way. You should be patient like a river. It flows, but it doesn't go crazy, being sure of the way even though you can't see the finish line yet. Buddhism shows an interesting paradox. When you stop rushing, life goes faster in the ways that matter. Your time is no longer spent fighting what is. You no longer have to tire yourself out in made-up time races. You are open and awake right now. If your mind is desperate, it would miss chances, insights, and gifts that you see when you're awake. You learn to love the different parts of life when you wait with understanding. In the spring, everything grows and blooms. In the winter, everything rests and gets stronger. The tree doesn't get scared when its leaves fall off. It doesn't think it failed. Some of its branches have died, but that doesn't mean it's dying. Instead, the branches are getting ready for a better growing season. A Buddhist sees your life the same way you do. It knows that waiting is not the end, but a part of becoming. There will be times when the urge to rush is too strong to fight. when you can't find out something right away but need to. Now is the best time to learn. They show you where you still don't trust enough. People tell you over and over to choose faith over fear, to choose being there over being scared, to choose the smart move of waiting over the desperate move of moving quickly. With each slow breath, you change the story your mind is trying to tell. You are no longer limited by time. You are its student. You are no longer in a hurry. When you say yes, you're free. You slowly become someone else, and at first you don't even know it. Someone more stable, someone nicer, someone who can handle the storms of life. Not by telling you not to want something, but by holding it gently. Buddhist patience gets rid of hidden fears. You can know that the things you want will happen, but you can't always decide when they will. This is a good thing, not a flaw. You don't have to try to make everything happen at the same time, which is not possible. You can rest. You can breathe. You can count on. To quote Zen, chop wood, carry water. This means that you don't have to do amazing things every day. It's about being there, getting things done, that you can trust that something holy is growing inside you, even if nothing exciting is going on. Every time you wait instead of freaking out, you plant the seeds of peace for the future. The secret needs that keep you from being happy lose their power when you have real patience. Because hopelessness says, I need it now or I'll break. And patience says, I am whole even without it. Hopelessness says, time is running out. And patience says, time is taking me right where I need to be. Tonight, let these words stay in your heart and mind. Start to feel the weight of time lift off your shoulders. Hands start to feel less tight as you feel the stress go away. Life's deep, slow, steady beat will hold you together. It is older and smarter than your mind's crazy ideas. Tomorrow will come at the right time. Things will get better when they're ready. The world already has love, happiness, and peace growing. You don't need to pull them out of the ground to stop their growth. Believe that it will rain. That's your job. Have faith in the weather. Trust that the wait will be worth it. This truth should slowly sink into your being as you go to sleep tonight. You're not late for anything. You're not lost. We're still thinking about you. You're on time. Something deeper starts to wake up as the truth of waiting calms the parts of your heart that are up for a change. You know that life is never still, but right now it's quiet and hard to see. It's always moving below the surface, even when nothing seems to be going on. You can move forward with an old rhythm without having to keep going. Tonight, you'll get even better at moving to that beat. There is always something going on in the background to help you. That's something you'll remember. You want proof in some ways. Make your work seem important. Proof that being nice paid off. That shows that your hard work paid off. It makes sense to want to see the outcomes of your efforts as quickly as possible. With Buddhism, you can see things in a way that isn't bound by what your eyes can see. Karma is the law of cause and effect, and this story shows how it works like a clock that keeps going on its own. It ticks and turns all the time, even when the surface looks the same. Hearts get mad when they forget this truth, when the seeds you put don't seem to be growing, in case the prayers you said into the night haven't come back to you yet. There are times when you feel like your time, love, and hope are running out. When you whisper to karma, on the other hand, it says, nothing is lost. Every act of kindness, every minute of work, and every choice made with good goals makes things happen that we can't see. The energy you sent out is changing the world, even though you can't see it yet. A lot of people are wrong when they think that justice is quick. Good things will come back to you right away in a way you can understand. Fate is now more subtle, takes longer, and is smarter. It doesn't always give back what the mind wants. It gives back what the spirit needs. It's not always about getting what you want. When you give, try, and hope, sometimes the win is getting stronger, more free, and smarter. They say that having real faith means doing things out of love and truth, even if you can't see the results right away. Don't worry if you can't hear the clock. It makes you feel very good when you stop expecting results right away. How quickly you get awards is no longer a measure of your worth. When you stop expecting too much and not getting it, you become less tired. The trip you're on seems like a bigger deal than you thought. A wait or a moment of silence is often just a holy way to protect, get ready, or even change. You've given the world a lot of work and energy that will never be wasted. You are being wound up in a future that you haven't reached yet. Karma's clock keeps track of what you do and how you do it. A little thing done with care often goes farther than a big thing done just for show. It matters what you mean. Having energy is important. It's not always easy to see the gifts that come back. They might give you a sudden peace of mind that you didn't know you needed. They can come in the form of challenges that make you stronger and help you meet goals you thought were out of reach. It's simple to think of life as a trade. I gave this, so I should get that. But Buddhist knowledge breaks down this way of thinking, and if you really believe it, you can talk to the universe instead of arguing. You behave well because that's how you are changing, not because you wish something different would happen. When you give up, beautiful things happen. You start to move when you go from not having enough to having plenty, going from being impatient to being kind, from being scared to having power in a quiet way. There is an old Zen saying that goes, "No snowflake falls in the wrong place." Work that comes from the heart also never ends up in the wrong place. Life's waves may make it look like it's floating away, but it's just finding its place in a pattern that is too big and confusing for the mind to understand. If you believe in fate, you know that the work you do doesn't go to waste. It means having faith that your life is more than a bunch of separate events. It's a bigger picture that's being put together by people you can't see. Sometimes the things you've worked on don't show results for a long time after you've stopped. Someone may feel better today because of a nice thing you said to them years ago. Making a moral choice could have kept you safe in ways you'll never fully understand. You're building more than just what you want right now. You're also making gardens, roads, and bridges that other people can't see. The way karma works takes into account both what you want and who you really are. Buddhist monks talk a lot about merit. Merit is the good things that happen to you over time when you do the right thing. It's like adding water drops one by one to a jar. It doesn't look like any of the drops matter. It might not seem like it makes a difference every time you are patient, kind, or forgive someone, but the jar fills up over time. Things that weren't clear at first become clear over time. The work you thought was lost comes back to you in ways that amaze and humble you over time. You won't have to worry about how or when the fruits will come once you learn to trust life's plan. People around you don't know everything. It can see dangers that you can't. It sees chances that you aren't ready for yet. It's not your fault if your hard work doesn't seem to pay off. Even though things are getting better, the roots are still getting stronger and the soil is still getting deeper. A kind of quiet heroism that changes people's lives from the inside out is giving up power over this process. Not many people talk about it. A secret magic starts to show itself when you stop expecting life to pay you back when you want it to. Little miracles start to happen. The niceness I didn't expect. Some doors open by themselves. The sudden waves of peace that hit you when you stop fighting what is. If you want good things to happen in your life, you have to start making them happen. You start to understand that the energy you put out has already changed your path, even if you can't see or feel it yet. You are not working for a reward right now. You are working to build your own soul. This is one of the most freeing things about Buddhism. Being more faith-filled, gentle, forgiving, and kind makes the picture of who you are stronger. No one will ever see or praise it, but you will feel it. You'll feel like you're getting stronger, lighter, and more stable. That is the real win. That is the prize that thieves will never take or sadness will never bring down. When you start living this way, great things happen. You don't need praise all the time anymore. Don't keep trying to get things done like a child trying to catch bubbles. You're proud of yourself more as you walk. A quiet trust that things are going well inside, no matter what the outside world looks like. You are no longer interested in what other people think of you. You already like yourself based on how you live your life. Karma's quiet clock is always ticking, even when it looks like night will never end or the road isn't visible. You improve your life every time you breathe, walk, or make a decision. Your life will get better over time, when life wants, not when you want. Not by your watch, but by something deeper that cares about you in ways you can't see yet. Enjoy the peace and quiet of tonight as you rest. You didn't have to rush to get your prizes in time. You can feel good about what you did because it didn't go to waste. It makes you feel better to know that something hidden is always at work, moving you toward a future that rewards all your hard work. The seeds have been planted. The water is no longer there. The sun shines even when clouds are in the way. You're not behind. We're still thinking about you. Fear, impatience, and uncertainty are not a part of this time because of people like you. You are right where you should be. You have not lost the work you have done in quiet, with patience, and with hope. Things are already going the way they should in your life. Believe that life is already working for you, even if you can't see it. This is the start of another big change. If you believe in fate, that's not enough. You have to stop the race you've been in without realizing it. You are no longer going to run in the race tonight. Your life used to move more slowly and peacefully, and you will remember that tonight. You had been waiting for freedom for a long time. The stress that most people feel isn't something they pay attention to. The idea that by a certain age you should have done certain things, crossed off certain lists, and climbed certain stairs. A schedule that wasn't made by your soul, but by fear, the need to compare, and rules. Before you know it, life feels like a race. Someone is out of breath and running a crazy race where falling behind means you failed and slowing down means you're embarrassed. But Buddhism has a soft smile on its face when it sees this race, since it knows the race isn't real. It's hard to appreciate where you are now when you are in a hurry to get where you want to go. Nature doesn't think things need to happen in a certain order. People think that way because they compare, are afraid, or don't feel safe. Trees don't try to bloom before the ones next to them. There is no difference between the rivers in how fast they flow. Making life a race in the mind is the only thing that causes pain. This race is bad because it never ends. You tell yourself over and over that you'll be happy when you reach a certain goal, but you never do. Not enough, the mind says. Not yet. They tell you to keep running, and you do. Even though you keep running, happiness is always just out of reach. It starts to get tired. The anger grows. It's like life is stuck in a loop. Buddhism is a different way to live. A way that doesn't stop dreams or growth, but also doesn't tie them down either. It proves that getting first place isn't the only way to be happy. It can be found by going off the tracks. When you realize that your life is not a race to be won, but a work of art to be lived, you will find it. When you don't have to meet any goals, nice things happen. You start to follow the truth instead of your fears. Instead of being scared, you start making decisions based on what you know. The real things in life, like happiness, peace, connection, and meaning, are never at the end of a movie. They're always here and now, but you used to rush through those times. In Tibetan, people say, if you miss the present moment, you miss your whole life. This is the sadness of the race mentality. It takes away your life while making you think you're doing everything you can to get it back. As you run toward a future that never quite makes you happy, you miss the sunsets, the laughs, and the small wins along the way. You should still work hard and dream even after you reach your goal. You don't judge your worth by how fast things happen anymore. It means you start to think that your path is special and different from everyone else's. It means you honor the holy time for your own growth, even if it doesn't line up with the plans you've been given. It's easy to forget that everyone has their own path. It changes with the flower. Some bloom in the spring, some in the summer, and some not until the first freeze. There are lives that end quickly with a win, and lives that slowly but surely get better until they hit an amazing peak. There isn't just one good time. You are the only one who can decide what happens next. The idea of race grows when you compare things. Because someone else got there before you, it makes you feel like you're behind. But Buddhism says that comparing things can hurt, because each person is unique. Every trip is different. You could say that the sunrise is better than the sunset because they both happen at the same time and are beautiful and important. If you let go of the thought that you're late, you feel calmer. Every once in a while, stop comparing things to get some peace back. The simple, holy truth always comes back to you. You are living now when you stop looking at your life like a list of things that need to be done by certain times. That's enough. Buddhism teaches many things, but one of the most important ones is how to not try. It's not a sign of lack of care to not try. It doesn't mean giving up. What you should do is because you want to, not because you need to, are afraid of, or feel pressured to. There's no need to be in charge of when things happen. Just do your best. And you shouldn't judge your worth by how quickly things get done. You need to believe that the work itself is enough. Giving up the race means starting to live. You start to enjoy the little things again, like how nice someone is, how beautiful a simple meal is, or how the sun feels on your skin. This is how life really is, not the medals, not the important days. You were focused on the race and didn't pay attention to the holy breaks. It's also possible to heal a deep heart hurt by meeting deadlines, the pain of never feeling like you've done enough. If you live your life by other people's rules, you will always feel like you are losing, falling behind, or running out of time. You start to see that you were never behind when you take that false step back. It was just the right time for you to grow. A Zen saying goes, "When you walk, walk. When you eat, eat." This saying sounds very simple, almost too simple. It does, however, hold a truth that will make everything different. Being present is more important than getting things done. Don't rush to get where you think you should be. Instead, enjoy where you are. Most of the time, the best achievements are the ones that no one else can see, such as the victory of being kind during a hard time, the victory of not freaking out, and the victory of moving at your own pace even though everyone else wants you to speed up. You can move more slowly, take a break. You can trust that moving more slowly won't leave you out of any important events. You really get it. It's okay to give up on goals that are holding you back. People around you think you should breathe less deeply than you can. The truth is that life is not a straight line. It goes up and down, turns and twists, and sometimes it just stands still. Sometimes growth isn't possible. Sometimes it's hard to see growth. Things that don't seem to be moving may be moving very slowly. Life is sometimes just getting ready to send you to a much bigger goal than the one you were racing toward. You will start to measure your days by how much you really live instead of how much you get done if you give up the idea that life is a race. It becomes more important to you to be real than to look good, and peace over getting things done. A life that not only makes other people happy, but also feeds your soul starts to form slowly, and you don't even know it. As you think about this truth more tonight, enjoy the freedom that comes from not having to worry about meeting your goals. Enjoy the freedom of not having to run. You don't have to rush, compare, or say sorry when you can be fully present where you are. You're not here to beat other people. You're not here to make plans for someone else. You were born to grow at a certain time for you, to live your own holy story, to keep your own holy path. As you sink deeper into this fact, keep this in mind. There's no race. There is no end. This is the only time. Okay, that's all for now. Now that the stress of racing is over, you can find something even deeper. Quitting the race isn't enough. You need to change how you live your life so that you don't rush or hold back. Instead, you need to find a peaceful pace that makes you feel at ease no matter what is going on around you. There is some stress in everyone. When you're scared, you need to move faster. If you feel worried, you might want to put things off. Too much nerve makes you want to push too hard, and too little fear makes you want to be too cautious. Buddhism, on the other hand, shows a different way, a way to fix things. You don't have to go against the flow or give up what you're doing. Timing in the middle shows us that life isn't about going fast or slow. You need to pay attention to how you move, when it's appropriate to do something, not stopping when you don't need to. There is a flow to life and you can't stop it. Instead, you have to feel it, dance with it, and trust it. When you're in a hurry, you try to beat yourself at becoming. It's hard to get fruit off of a tree whose roots are still becoming bigger. It tastes bitter instead of sweet when it's ripe. When you hold back, you lose the courage to try new things and hang on to a false sense of safety. You don't get peace, you don't get anything. Running away and holding back are both ways to stop life from going the way it should. Both hurt people. To find the middle ground, you need to be braver. You should be awake enough to know when to move and when to hold still. Fear and worry should not be heard. Instead, you should listen to the soft voice of knowledge that tells you when the ground is ready to be tilled, the water is clear, and the door open. It's not simple to learn this tune. The mind needs to be sure. People want to be sure that they will get their money back if they act now, or that if you wait long enough, everything will be okay. Life isn't like the mind, though. It moves in ways that don't make sense. To trust those systems, you need to be humble. You have to realize that time is not running your life. You are just a part of it. When you find the right balance of time, things start to feel different in your life. Not as scared. Don't hold on anymore. Not as sad. Soon you understand that many of your biggest mistakes happened because you jumped into things before your heart was ready or turned away from things your soul was telling you to do. It's between those 2 points of view that you can grow wise. You become wise when you mix being patient and being brave. The middle road says that doing something is good as long as you know it's right and don't have to do it. Being ready to wait instead of being afraid is holy. Life is always telling you to pay attention. What is true now, rather than what should I do? The truth will sometimes push you forward and sometimes tell you to stop. Both are growth, as long as they are in line with each other. People often hurry because they're afraid they'll miss out on something important. But Buddhist knowledge says that you can't lose what's meant for you just because you miss a moment. You won't have to go against your own schedule to get what's meant for you. When the inside and outside factors are right, it will happen. People often don't take risks because they're afraid they'll fail and lose something, hurt someone, or look bad. But taking the middle road helps you remember that risk is an important part of growth and that doubt can be the key to your next becoming. It's like waiting for a day without clouds. It sounds nice in theory, but isn't possible in real life. You have a lot of freedom when you can live without stepping on the gas or the brake all the time. You can go with the flow and act from the present, not the past. Don't avoid things. Instead, rest from knowing them. The middle path of timing isn't always the same. It's alive and feels soft. You need to pay attention to your soul like a swimmer pays attention to the wind and tides. Some days you'll need to be brave, and other days you'll be told to stay put. Don't try to force them to do one or the other. Instead, pay attention and do what you hear. The middle path in Buddhism is often compared to an instrument that needs to be tuned. If the string is too tight, the instrument will break, and if the string is too loose, it won't make music. The instrument will only sing when it is tuned just right. In the same way, when things get too hard, you give up. If you wait too long, you'll get stuck. When you're in balance, your soul starts to sing. You have to be honest with yourself. Am I acting out of fear right now? Is my waiting smart or just a way to avoid something? Am I moving forward because the time is right or because I can't wait any longer? Am I not moving because the ground needs more work, or because I'm afraid of change? These are not complaints. They are questions that invite people to come and lead back to a more stable position. You stop being so hard on yourself for not being faster, stronger, or more sure of what you want. You realize that everyone is still learning how to ride the waves of life. You start to think that mistakes are not failures, but rather parts of the tuning process. You don't feel bad about letting yourself change, learn, and grow. The middle way says to hold on to your dreams, but not too tightly. Don't let them go, but don't choke them either. Plant them like seeds, water them with action when the time is right, and believe in them enough to let them grow without constantly getting in the way. Dreams need space and attention to grow. They can grow when there is a balance between effort and surrender. Often, feeling nervous, rushed, or stressed out means you are trying to do too much too soon. When you feel stuck, restless, or heavy, it means you have withheld too much. These feelings don't hate each other. They both mean something. To get back to the middle, ask yourself, what is true right now? Do these things. Being on the middle road doesn't mean being perfect. It just means being aware of when you've gone too far in either direction and gently, without judging yourself, coming back to balance. It means believing that the way will find you again, even if you get lost. It helps to remember that time is not a punishment, but a friend, and that life is not against you, whether things move slowly or quickly. If you're ready to go with the flow, life is always with you. As you learn more about this tonight, feel the space inside you grow. Trust that both action and stillness are holy as long as they come from listening instead of fear. Do what needs to be done when it's time, and rest when it's time. There's no need to push through. You don't have to keep it hostage. You only need to take one smart step at a time. While you do this, life will be your best friend, partner, and source of happiness. Your heart is starting to learn the gentle art of balancing movement and silence. It's knowing that some things need time and can't be rushed, even if you're smart and stay on the middle road. You have to learn to accept that everything has an old rhythm that runs through it, no matter how hard you try. Tonight, we trust each other completely. When will my hard work pay off? Every face, no matter how calm it seems, hides anger. When will I be fully healed? When will my dream, my love, and my peace come true? People ask this question when they're feeling alone, and the answer feels heavy when it seems too far away. Buddhism, on the other hand, has a quiet, strong answer. The fruit ripens on its own. You can't make it happen before its time, and you shouldn't worry about it either. Even though nature isn't in a hurry, everything gets done. Wisdom is built into the very fabric of life. When the conditions are right, everything will happen slowly and patiently. This isn't being lazy or passive. It means having faith in the inner alchemy that turns work that can't be seen into things that can. When you do something good, you plant a seed. When you are aware, every breath you take feeds it. Every little choice you make that leads to truth and kindness grows it. But you don't get to choose when it breaks the surface or how fast it grows. You are taking care of things, not making clocks. You should take care of the dirt, not pull at the sprouts. When you start living this way, you feel a different kind of peace, one that doesn't depend on what happens or whether you succeed. It's a peace that comes from knowing that forces you can't see are always at work, and that your part is important, even if you can't see the results yet. Being able to keep showing up for your life, even when you don't see immediate proof that it's working, is a great test of trust. For example, you should be kind even when no one else is around, and you should keep going to your practice even when it feels dry. You should also not give up hope for growth even when all you see are bare twigs. You can't speed up the slow chemistry of work and nature. You can't make the sun rise faster. When you're stressed, healing doesn't happen faster on its own. Love doesn't grow faster just because you want it to. In life, deep and important things grow at their own pace, not yours. In a strange way, that's what makes them valuable. Any dream you could have right away wouldn't be able to change you because you wouldn't have to wait, take care of yourself, or grow. What you don't see is what gets you ready to accept what you want without being crushed by it or losing yourself in it. There is an old Buddhist story about a man who pulled on plants to make them grow faster, but instead killed them. The lesson is clear. You can't make some things happen. Some things are only okay to do. Your life, your health, and your becoming are some of those things. When you're upset that the fruit hasn't shown up yet, Buddhist wisdom tells you to remember that being honest, kind, and doing the right thing is already satisfying in this very moment. You're not getting ready to live. You are already living. You don't have to wait for real life to start. It has already begun. You have to be very brave to live this way. You have to have faith that slow growth is still growth, and faith that change that can't be seen is still change. You have to be brave enough to stop needing to be encouraged all the time and accept that nature's timing is better than your own. It's not a waste of time or effort if results take longer than expected. Love isn't lost because it's not returned right away, and it hasn't failed to heal because it doesn't heal in straight lines. You and no one else can see the whole picture yet, but the work you do in your thoughts, habits, and prayers is making your future. The fruit gets ready on its own. It doesn't need your stress to move forward. What it does need is your steady attention, your kindness, and your decision to stay true even when you start to doubt yourself. Don't give up just because the crop hasn't come yet or the tree looks empty. You're not being punished for being slow. It's making you stronger. You're being asked to trust more deeply, and that trust will help you long after this time of waiting is over. You know that every little step counts. You know that choosing peace over fear every morning makes you stronger. You know that forgiving someone, even if it doesn't seem like it, makes your soul shine. You know that every choice to be there, breathe, and believe is a part of the roots that will one day bear fruit that can be seen. Buddhists believe that the fruit is not the end, even when it comes. It's just the start of another round of planting, caring for, watching, and trusting. Life is not a straight line with a clear end goal. It's a spiral, a dance that gets deeper over time of effort and surrender, action and trust, giving and receiving. When you live this way, you stop needing quick fixes all the time. You stop being so focused on getting things done right away, and you connect with the Earth's deeper, older rhythms. These are the rhythms that know how to form mountains, oceans, and forests without ever rushing or doubting. You can connect with a deep, ancient patience that is calmer than your mind's anger and fears. This is the kind of patience that knows you're exactly where you need to be and can see changes even when other people can't. You deserve to let go of your anger tonight. Rest in the knowledge that all of your hard work has already been woven into the big picture of your life. Take a deep breath, trust more, and let go of the heavy burden of having to decide when your own unfolding will happen. You're not behind. We're still thinking about you. It's not a fail. You have grown so much that you can't see it yet. And when the time is right, you'll grow in ways that are too beautiful to have been rushed. As you feel the deep peace of nature settle into your heart, there is one more tender truth you need to see. Sometimes, no matter how much you trust someone, you want to pick the fruit before it's ready. You want to get smarter, heal faster, or get where you're going faster. But tonight, you're going to let go of that duty. You're about to enter a state of even greater freedom. The freedom to let each lesson come at its own perfect time. There's a voice inside that says, "I should have known this already. This should be over now, and you should be further along." It has a violent tone, and it gets in the way of how you naturally grow, making it more like a battle than a trip. Buddhism says that you can't hurry real growth. This means that each lesson in life comes at the exact time that the heart is ready to receive it, not before or after. If you try to rush through your lessons, it's like pulling on flower petals to make them grow. You hurt the flower's ability to open on its own, not help it. This hurrying comes from thinking that you need to be perfect before you can rest, feel worthy, or be loved. Buddhist wisdom, which is clear and gentle, breaks down this idea. You're not here to quickly become the best version of yourself. You're here to live, learn, fall, rise, and keep changing. Everything the same way, over and over, with love. If you try to heal too quickly, you might miss the healing. If you are in a hurry, don't forget to forgive. If you try to wake up too quickly, you might miss it. They are not interested in getting to a new state, but in the slow, sometimes painful, sometimes beautiful growth that changes you in ways you could never have planned. There are 1,000 quiet lessons in every wound you carry, every bad habit you're trying to break, and every fear you're learning to get over. These lessons aren't just for your head. You have to live them. You have to feel them in your bones, take them in with your heart, and make them a part of who you are. This takes time. You have to fall down, get back up, question, give up, and start over many times. There is no easy way out of this or quick way to become wise, and rushing through it only makes the pain worse. Being rushed doesn't make you move faster. It makes you more stressed, angry, and hard on yourself. You turn the journey into a punishment instead of a gift. Teachers often tell their students that knowledge doesn't just fall from the sky. Instead, it's built up one moment at a time, like drops of water adding up to a big ocean. Giving up on early harvest means giving up the idea that you can skip the messy parts of growing. It means realizing that the stage you are in now is holy, even if it feels unfinished, awkward, or too slow to bear. It means believing that the things you are learning now, no matter how hard or small they may seem, are not stopping you from moving forward. They are showing you the way. When you stop rushing through life, you pay more attention to what it's trying to teach you through every mistake, every confusion, and every sudden turn. You start to find the gold that was hidden in the things you used to try so hard to avoid. You know that the goal was never to be the best version of yourself. The goal was always to be fully present in the present moment, to be open to each moment instead of fighting it, and to be humble instead of anxious as you start each lesson. Strangely, the slower you try to speed up your growth, the faster and deeper it happens. You don't need pressure to make real change happen. It just happens on its own. Change happens when you're kind to yourself, not when you criticize yourself. When you accept that you are human and don't try to change that, you let the gentle alchemy that turns experience into knowledge happen. Letting go of early harvest also teaches you not to compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace and in their own way. Comparing your growth to someone else's is like comparing an apple to a rose. Everyone has their own beat and makes the world more beautiful in their own way. You can enjoy the trip more if you don't rush. While you wait, you become more aware of how much power you are building, how much sense is being made out of the mess, how much tenderness is being formed in places you didn't think anything was going on. Buddha said that finding freedom is like crossing a river. You can't do it quickly or you'll fall in. You have to be careful, take things one step at a time and go with the flow, even if it takes you somewhere you didn't plan to go. When you're in the middle of the river, you're on the right path. It's the holy center of the journey. Giving up the early harvest means letting go of the middle space and putting all of your confidence in forces bigger and kinder than your fears to shape you. It means believing that your life is in charge, even if you don't think it is. You have to let go of the fact that you're not finished, that you can't figure everything out, that you're still falling, having trouble, and learning. The truth is that even the masters, the saints, and the enlightened ones have been where you are now, unsure, anxious, and wanting to move forward faster. This stage didn't make them who they are. They lived it fully, quietly, and with a lot of trust. Let go of the stress tonight, as these words make you feel better. Don't hold on to the plans you've been thinking about, and don't think you should be perfect by now. You're not. All you have to do is be here, still living, ready, and open. The things you are learning now are holy and helping you become the person you are slowly and beautifully becoming. Don't throw them away because they're messy or broken because they're not finished. When the time is right and the roots are deep enough, the soil will give everything it has. The fruit will then grow because you trusted it and didn't rush. You're not behind. You're not hurt. It's not a fail. You are becoming the person you were meant to be in a quiet, brave, and beautiful way. That's enough. You don't have to rush your growth as much now that you don't have to. Another quiet opening appears in front of you. It leads to a truth that is so deep and freeing that it will make your whole life feel better. It's not enough to just hope that the fruit will ripen slowly. You have to understand that every delay, pause, and moment of silence is not an interruption. It's an offer. It's a secret message from life itself that you need to grow in ways you didn't choose. It's very sad when things don't go as quickly as you had thought. Why isn't it happening yet? What's wrong with me? It's easy to feel like you've been forgotten, not seen, or stopped. But Buddhist knowledge gives us a different perspective. It teaches us that waiting is not a bad thing, and that taking your time is part of the lesson. Often, the hand of Dharma leads you deeper into your fate instead of away from it. In its most basic form, Dharma is the rule that things happen when you are at peace with life and not trying to change it. And the highest Dharma doesn't always move at the speed you want it to. When your soul is ready, it moves at its own speed. Sometimes it holds you back, not to hurt you, but to keep you safe, get you ready, and polish you so you're strong enough to hold the gifts that are coming. When you learn to look at delays in this way, you stop seeing problems where there are chances to do something. When there is help, you stop seeing rejection, and when there is planning, you stop seeing punishment. Life starts to make you less angry, scared, and resistant to the turns and stops it always throws at you. The mind likes to make plans, and guess what will happen? It likes plans that are clear and have straight lines. But growth doesn't always happen in a straight line. In real life, growth curves loop, dive, stop, and soar. Real growth flows like a river, not a road. It gets lost, takes a break, and gets stronger in hidden places before charging forward again. The river is smart because it takes its time. This is when you can get the strength you didn't know you needed and learn lessons you wouldn't have had the chance to learn if things had gone as planned. It gives you time to meet parts of yourself that only come out when you have to listen and things slow down. Buddhism teaches that impatience is often caused by ego, which wants the prize right away and the path to be clear, simple, and known ahead of time. But the mind knows better. Soulful people know that the best things in life are hidden behind doors that can only be opened with time, humility, and submission. You are being told to let go of your ideas about when and how things should happen and to look at things differently. You are not being told to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, you should ask, "What am I being taught here?" Sometimes putting things off will protect you from effects you can't see yet. They will push you to learn skills you will need later on. They may test your patience, kindness, and strength from time to time, but not as a punishment, but to get you ready for the life you said you wanted. You can only grow in a certain way during the break. It's a strength that gets stronger when things aren't clear, and it's a knowledge that you can only see when you have to be still long enough to look past your wants and needs. Life's stops can feel mean if you try to fight them, or like a waste of time if you try to rush through them. But if you lean in, listen, and know that even the silence has meaning, they can be some of the most powerful and life-changing parts of your life. That's exactly how the Buddha's life went. He had to wait and change his plans many times before he finally woke up under the Bodhi tree. Those years were not wasted. They were very important. Without them, he would not have been ready to hear the final truth. His delay was his Dharma playing out at the right, painful, and beautiful time. Your life isn't stuck, and your wait times are the same. We will never forget your soul. You are just going through a time of hidden growth, where your character is being formed in ways that will help you get further in life than any quick fix could. When you start to believe this, things change. You no longer scream at the wait. You start to value it. You start to ask more in-depth questions. You look for both results and ideas. Every break becomes a holy school where life itself is the teacher. You know that the break isn't empty. It's full of work that you can't see. You thought the healing was over, but it's actually getting better. Your dreams were growing up when you thought they were dying. The parts of you that felt stuck are getting stronger. This way of thinking changes, waiting from something that makes you sad to something that makes you grateful. It doesn't make things easier, but it does make you feel better. Remember that the tree is still growing even though you can't see the fruit yet. You learn to stop being so set in your ways about how fast things should go and instead live with open hands. You learn to let life surprise you with better results than you could have planned. You'll soon be someone else, someone with more patience, someone you can trust more, someone who is stronger, and someone who cares more about everyone, not just you, who is dealing with their own delays that they can't see. You start to understand that everyone is waiting in secret. Everyone has dreams that haven't come true yet. Sad to say, everyone is slowly learning how to trust a plan bigger than their own. Seeing wait as dharma is one of the most freeing things you can do. It frees you from the false belief that your life is ending when things move slowly. It grounds you in the truth that life is always moving, even when it seems still. It helps you remember that how fast you go, how far you've come, or how quickly you succeed doesn't show how important you are. When you stop, wait, and let things slowly unfold, you can be sure that you are enough right now. This is because your mind is growing in ways you can't yet understand. Tonight, take a few deep breaths and let this truth sink in. You're not stuck, you're not getting in trouble, and you won't be left behind. People are shaping you with hands that are smarter than your thoughts. They are setting you up for gifts that are even better than you thought possible. They want you to trust them in a way that can't be broken by any wait, pause, or surprise turn. You should be where you are. The life you were meant to live is already on its way to you, one holy, quiet moment at a time. Even though you're learning that it's okay to take breaks in life, there's still one quiet lie you need to get rid of. It's there when you're tired and when you don't know what to do. It tells you that you're behind, that you missed your chance, and that time is running out. But tonight, we're going to show you that it's not true. Tonight, you're going to break out of that false belief and get back to where you belong in how your life is going. A heavy sadness sets in when you compare yourself to times you can't remember. You feel like you went in the wrong direction, like you should have done more by now, like everyone else knows what to do, but you're still lost. Most people feel lonely, but they don't say it out loud. That weight gets heavier with every birthday, every social media scroll, and every comparison that's said. Buddhism says that this kind of pain comes from holding on to false ideas, like the idea that there is one set time for everyone to be happy, successful, or grow. But life is not like a moving belt, and you are not being timed by a master clock. There is only the sacred and mysterious trip of each soul, which happens at just the right time, even if it doesn't look like the stories you've heard. Behind is just a thought trick that comes from comparing, judging, and being afraid. It comes from thinking that you can neatly compare the endless, rich, and messy experience of being human to a list of goals. You forget that each life blooms at its own time for reasons that your mind can't understand. A tree doesn't feel bad about blooming after another, and a river doesn't feel bad about taking longer to get to the sea. People, on the other hand, turn their lives into races they weren't meant to run because of the complicated fears and demands they have learned. When you feel like you're behind, you stop appreciating the beauty of your path. You miss the little lovely things that are changing you in ways that you can't change by cutting corners. Buddhism says that pain isn't just caused by bad luck, but also by the stories we tell ourselves about bad things that happen. One of the most painful stories is, "I am late, I am wrong, I have failed." Though this story doesn't make sense when you look at the truth. The truth is that you've never been late for anything in your life. Every delay, detour, and mistake you've made has been a sacred part of making your life what it is meant to be. You need to be kind to yourself and stop being so hard on yourself for not being somewhere else. You need to see where you are as an important part of the journey that is still going beautifully, not as proof that you failed to get there. When you let go of the idea that you are behind, you start to notice something deeper. You realize that many of the qualities you admire in other people, like their wisdom, strength, kindness, and depth, didn't come about quickly, easily, or clearly. They were formed by hard work, patience, and times when they didn't know what they were doing, weren't ready, or didn't fit into neat schedules. You begin to understand that your delays, issues, and questions do not indicate that you are weak. Instead, they are the fires that make you strong and the rains that keep your roots healthy. They are the hidden gifts that will allow you to one day give the world something real, authentic, and unbeatable. Remember that you can't see the whole story of someone else's life. You can only see the polished moments, the big steps they've taken in public. They don't show you the nights they questioned their choices, the years they wandered, or the wounds they carry in silence. When you look at someone else's edited highlight reel and compare your own, you'll always feel like you're behind. But when you look at your own life again, you realize you're not behind at all. It's full of beauty, mistakes, and busyness. You're in the right place to learn what you need to learn and become the person you were meant to be. Being able to accept each moment as it comes without judging it or planning when it should happen is one of the most important things that Buddhism teaches. An open mind knows that every moment is new, every step is different, and every breath is a fresh start. You can be a beginner whether you are 30 or 50 or 80 years old. You can bloom late, go in a different direction, or take the long way home. This is because the soul doesn't care about the days of the week. It wants the truth, it wants depth, and it wants to become, not get there. When you stop thinking you're behind, you stop being sad about the chances you think you missed and start noticing the ones that are right in front of you. You start getting the gifts that only appear when you're not thinking about being somewhere else. You start to believe that people still care about you and that every step you take, even the ones that seem useless or slow, is taking you to a future that is more real, rich, and full of options than anything you could have made yourself. Being able to see through the idea of being behind you also makes you want to be nicer to yourself. When you push yourself, stop being mean to yourself and start helping yourself in the same way you would help a friend or a child learn to walk. You wouldn't tell a kid they failed if they fell. You wouldn't tell a tree it's not worth anything in the winter. You wouldn't rush the river or make the seed look bad. You'd trust the process. The seasons would be true to you. You should also be trusted in that way. You should also get that kind of care. Feel the weight of false numbers lift off your chest as you sit down to remember more tonight. Getting out of the race you were never meant to run will set you free. Feel the soft power of going back to your own way, your own time, and your own sacred rhythm. You're not late for anything. You're not lost. You're not behind. It's taking time, but you're slowly becoming the person you were meant to be right now. That's enough. You can see another hidden thread now that false timelines are off your shoulders and you're standing on your own holy ground. It's how the mind still tries to jump ahead to a future that isn't here yet, and to events that haven't happened yet. You will be able to see that post very clearly tonight, and you will slowly free yourself from it tonight. A soft hunger that says, "I'll be happy when..." You might not even be aware of it at first. It's in desire, hiding as hope. You want something, but you feel trapped in a future that doesn't exist yet. And when you get too excited about the future, you give up the good things in the present for the hope of the future. Buddhists believe that holding on to things is what hurts. One of the most tempting forms of holding on is to the thought that you will finally find peace, joy, and worth when a certain thing happens. The sound is safe, and it even inspires me. But deep down, it's a way of saying that you're unhappy with the present moment because your mind is so busy planning for the future. When you think about what you want to happen in the future, you stop living your life and start living in your thoughts. You miss out on little things that are happening right now because you are too busy chasing thoughts that haven't even formed yet. You miss the real work, love, and peace that are only here, right now. "Just a little more," it whispers. "Just one more step. After that, you can take a break. After that, you can breathe. That way, you can be happy." But the hunger stays no matter how many dreams or goals you reach. It just moves the finish line around and around, so you'll never really find peace. People get stuck in a never-ending loop because they think happiness comes from what happens next, not from how they deal with what is happening now. Buddhist wisdom turns this idea on its head by showing that the quality of your life doesn't depend on what you get or do, but on how deeply you can be present in this moment, just as it is, without wanting it to be different. You can feel how much expectation drains your energy, how it makes you worried, irritable, and restless, and how it makes you less clear, less grateful, and less present. When you're excited, your body starts to feel tighter and makes a tense buzzing sound that keeps you from fully relaxing. When your happiness depends on something that might happen in the future, you'll always feel fear. You might be afraid that it won't happen, that it won't be enough if it does happen, or that you'll miss your chance. You'll be truly free when you cut this invisible cord, when life stops giving you deals, and when you stop telling yourself, "I'll be whole when," and start living your life based on the truth that you are whole now, even if your dreams haven't come true or your questions haven't been answered. Buddha taught people how to be mindful, which means to fully enjoy where they are at any given time. Being mindful brings your attention back to the richness of this breath, this step, this heartbeat, and breaks the habit of always wanting more. Being aware helps you see that the surprise is already here, in the way the air feels against your skin and the ground supports your weight. It's like how a small act of kindness can change the world in ways you can't fully understand. If you don't let stress stop you, you can still move toward your dreams. You still plant seeds for tomorrow, but you don't wait for tomorrow to prove it. You do it with a sense of freedom and lightness that says, "I have lived fully, even if it never comes. I have loved fully. I have given it my all." There is a real joy in not worrying so much about the future. There is happiness in being here to see the perfection already happening, not because everything is perfect. There is happiness that doesn't depend on anything, on promises or on results. Letting go of expectations gives you back your life. You stop living in the space between where you are and where you think you should be. Instead, you start to enjoy the simple, natural beauty of your current life, not the life you dream about or hope to have someday. People who follow Buddhism believe that the future is just a dream and that there is no such thing as it outside of the mind. They also believe that the present moment is the only real time that can feed, change, and wake you up right now. You don't have to judge yourself when you're wanting something or reaching for something. Just pay attention and go back. Come back to now over and over again, slowly, kindly, and quietly. You break free from the unseen chains of expectation a little more each time you do it. You get one step closer to the freedom that was always there, but you couldn't hear it because your mind was so busy. You shouldn't give up on your dreams, even if you don't care about what will happen in the future. It means you start to see your journey as holy, not just your goal. You don't ask, "When am I going to get there?" but "How can I be awake here?" Not, "What's next?" but "What does this moment want from me?" Not, "When is enough?" How can I live with the truth that it's enough? Now, everything is different. Normal things become extraordinary. Waiting makes you strong. Not having enough things becomes having plenty. Your life goes from being a race to a prayer. When you stop measuring the value of each day by how close you are to a faraway goal, you can see a certain kind of beauty. Each day, just the way it is, holds gems that you would miss if you were always in a hurry to get to tomorrow. If you let go of the idea that something else needs to happen for you to be happy, you become softer. You become kind to yourself and others. You have a gentle way of being that enjoys life in all its beautiful, messy, and uncertain forms. Let this truth sink into your heart as you rest your body and mind tonight. You don't need to think about the future to be happy. To find meaning, you don't need to want things to happen. You don't have to wait for things to get better before you start living fully. You can already find peace here. In this very moment, you can already feel the happiness you want. And when you give up trying to get it, you can finally get it.